Wisconsin Live Desk.
Hey guys, welcome into the Wisconsin Live Desk. It is 12:30 on your Wednesday afternoon. I will be with you for the next 2 hours here on Wild, and then Ben Handelman will take over at 2:30, get you all the way to 3:30. If you have never tuned into the Wisconsin Live Desk, first of all, welcome. We're so happy to have you. But what we do is we monitor these things behind me that are called feeds, and we bring you news in real time as it happens, whether that be here in Milwaukee, across Wisconsin, or even sometimes the country, if not the world. We bring you the biggest news in the moment. And of course, our very own reporters here at Fox 6, they join us as well and kind of give us a heads up to the stories they're working on today for our evening newscasts. I have been keeping an eye on the feeds. So far, there's not a ton popping up just yet, but that's okay. Of course, I do want to take you out here to downtown Milwaukee, a live look here at 12:30. Still seeing plenty of snow. Thankfully, I don't think there's any in the forecast today, but the 31 degrees that you're seeing on your screen right there, that's really only going to go down. It's interesting as the afternoon hours come, that temperature is expected to go down, get colder out there, so make sure and bundle up because we're having unseasonably cold temperatures right now. So it feels like late January, but it's actually early December, which is always not so fun. We also have a couple other live feeds. This is the Senate floor. We'll have to check in and see what they're doing there today. Looks like they're getting ready for some sort of a press conference in this feed. This is the Department of Justice. It might be some sort of a drug bust. This was moments ago a feed of the White House. So we're still going to work to learn what that is together and potentially bring that to you live here on the Wisconsin Live Desk. Or we can also head here to New York, where it's kind of hard to see the Fox Christmas tree today. It's totally in the shade, at least for now. So we'll have to see as the day goes by if any sun comes to it. But that is a 50-foot tall real Christmas tree. The ornaments are red, white, and blue, and the dove kind of tree topper, if you can make that out, 6 feet tall, just to put everything into perspective there of how tall that Christmas tree is in New York. Coming up, we have a couple of live reports. It's at some point during the Wisconsin Live Desk. We're also going to start a new segment today called Wish List Wednesday. We're going to talk today to the Ronald McDonald House and just kind of find out what their needs are right now. They are a great organization that helps, families as their children are receiving care at the hospital. They provide a place to stay, whether you need it for a night or potentially they have some people that have stayed 6, 8, 9 months, however long you need a place to stay. The Ronald McDonald House is there for you. And I know right now, this time of year, a lot of us want to get back. And so we think about going to places like Ronald McDonald House, but they really have a need year round. So I can't wait to chat with them and see what exactly they're in need of at this moment, and hopefully we can all lend a helping hand. I will say, everybody here at Fox 6 right now, we're a teeny bit distracted. It has been a very exciting day. At some point, Delaney is going to bring in a graphic. I know she's working on it. No rush, Delaney. Oh, it's in. Where is it? Slot 4. It's above where I was. There we go. Delaney was too fast for me. Delaney, who is that in the middle of the photo?
Hugh Jackman.
That's right. Hugh Jackman came in today. I should have tweeted out the video of him. I'm going to do this during a commercial break so that we can bring it to you. There was some whisperings and some rumblings of is Hugh Jackman coming? Because Gino, who is on the very far left, standing with a huge grin on his face, he's obviously our Hollywood expert. He has interviewed Hugh Jackman 11 times. He was a big part of the premiere last night for Song Sung Blue, which is the new Hugh Jackman movie coming out on Christmas Day that tells the story of a Milwaukee couple who had a Neil Diamond kind of tribute act, Lightning and Thunder. So they did a Milwaukee premiere and rolled out the blue carpet for him. Because Gino was so heavily involved, and he's got actually almost a friendship with Hugh, I was like, is he going to come to Fox 6? But everybody was lying and saying no. And then all of a sudden, chaos in the atrium, and Hugh Jackman walked into our newsroom and said, "Good morning. Hey, y'all." And we all became 12-year-olds. I usually am a professional. Today, I don't know. But I will say, I did get kind of prime seating for this photo, Delaney.
I know, you had the best seat.
Yeah, so they were like, we don't have a ton of time. Hugh, first of all, was here, I think very graciously giving us a little bit of time. He did a full interview with Gino. and the movie's director about Song Sung Blue. Then he stuck around for an entire other segment, Taste Testing Kringle, and then he really had to go, but he stopped for a photo with us. So we all got ready kind of during that second interview so that he could just pop over and we could take a quick photo. And at first everyone was standing, but there are those, 4 seats and a stool. I was like, maybe if I sit in this seat, one, I can hide the fact that I'm wearing Uggs today, which I didn't want photographed, Delaney, but 2, maybe he'll sit in the stool right next to me. And it somehow worked. So that was really exciting. Delaney, tell me your experience meeting Hugh Jackman, because here's my thing, Delaney. For me, also as a side note, I was genuinely working on a story for the 11 o'clock newscast, and then all of a sudden I see what's going on. I run over to the window. Our atrium is all made out of glass, so you can see the middle. I pull out, I go, I just start waving to Hugh Jackman as he's, walking by. Pull out my phone. I get a little video of him walking in. And then eventually we go into the studio. But again, I'm like photographing him. I'm so excited. I didn't know what to say when he finally sat down. Delaney's like this the whole time. I don't know how you do that. How do you stay so calm?
I have no idea. I almost feel like it wasn't happening. Like I heard Ashley say, "Oh my gosh, he's here." And then I saw everyone like running toward the atrium. But I was like, I don't think so.
Yeah.
And then he popped into the newsroom. It was really exciting.
And we were like, oh, no, he actually is here. Like, it is real. Everyone is raving about Song Sung Blue, which is the new movie with Hugh Jackman and Kate Hudson. I mean, people are already saying Kate is like probably going to win an Oscar for it, which is crazy. I haven't seen that yet. 'Cause Christmas Day. Didn't go to the premiere last night. But what is your current favorite Hugh Jackman movie that you've seen?
The Greatest Showman.
Yeah. I was like that. I feel like a lot of people are always like Wolverine. I loved The Greatest Showman so much. This is always my test of like a good movie. I went and actually saw it by myself when it came out because all my friends were gone for Christmas break. My family was busy. I was like, oh, I want to go see that movie. I don't mind going to movies by myself too because you're not chatting with someone during it. It was so good. I went home and started raving about it. My aunt and uncle were like, oh my gosh, we'll go see it with you. I went again the next day. And saw it with them. That's how good of a movie it was.
It was so good.
Yeah.
I know, I think my sister saw it a few times right when it came out.
Yes. And so it's funny because also it's probably been out for a while now. That's sad because I think I would have been in college. The Greatest Showman, 2017. Yep. That movie, so like my favorite movie before The Greatest Showman, I always said was Catching Fire, which is like the Hunger Games sequel, which I think would have been 2012. So for 5 years, I was like, oh yeah, Catching Fire. Greatest Showman came out, and I was like, ooh. So now I think they're so vastly different that they're ranked, like they're tied for my all-time favorite, but it right away went up to that spot in my rankings.
Yeah, I agree with that one.
Just so good. I'm going to go home and watch it.
Good.
The music is so good. Like, that's where I also struggle, is like, what is my favorite Greatest Showman song? Because, like, The Greatest Show is an excellent song. And then, what is it? This Is Me, that Kiala sings. So good, Kiala. And then, From Now On, the very end, like, oh, there's just such good music.
Or such good music
There's
in
the one with him and Zach where they're, like, at the bar.
I was going to say, yeah, the cast is really good, too.
Zendaya.
Like, Zac Efron, Zendaya.
Yeah. That was
Great
the first
movie.
time I was actually very jealous of Zendaya in that movie because she gets to fall in love with Zac Efron. And I think Zendaya is my age. Let's just see. Okay, she's a little bit older than me. So I was very jealous because I was like, that really could have been me if I was talented and famous.
Right? Like such a dream role.
Such a dream role. Anyway, I think Delaney and I found our Christmas card. We'll be sending this one out shortly. Or some of us have like some random selfies with him. I know I saw one of our assignment desk workers, Alex, has already changed his Facebook profile picture to be his selfie with Hugh, which he's lucky. He had the perfect selfie. Like he was looking at the camera, smiling. Jealous of Alex. But so fun. I just love that we all equally geeked out at the same time.
I know, everyone was so excited. It was so fun.
So fun. So now we'll have to go and see that movie. And he was actually in Milwaukee last night having a pretty good time. Delaney, are you able to, is this just a photo? I think it's just a photo. This is the real life Milwaukee woman who Kate Hudson plays, and obviously Hugh Jackman. And they did some karaoke after the premiere at, I think it's a local bowling alley. So fun. I saw a clip of him doing So Good, Sweet Caroline by Neil Diamond, which also apologies to Hugh and to Neil Diamond because I am not the best singer, but I tried my best. So very fun day, though, here at Fox 6. And so if you're wondering why all of us are just a little bit scatterbrained, it's because we had an A-list celebrity in our hallway, and we did not know. The managers did keep it a secret, so I feel like because of that, we were even more unprofessional because we didn't prepare to be professional. But that was really exciting and a good time. All right, we are working on a few different things. I really quickly am going to actually pull up because it's going to end soon, which makes me a little bit sad, but I am excited for all of the work that we've already done for our community and are going to continue to do with the Fox 6 Coats for Kids drive. Obviously, we've already seen such generosity from you guys with this, but we continue to collect coats through December 7th, so you got a few more days to get those in. We are collecting brand new winter coats in all sorts of kid sizes, even some of those small adult sizes, because kids can grow fast. And when you're talking about, you know, an 8th grader or a freshman in high school, those are adult sizes that are needed. But we'll take brand new coats. We'll take gently loved coats as long as they work and they look really good, because we want the kids to get to be confident in what they're wearing. We'll also take brand new winter accessories, so scarves, hats, mittens, all the works. Or you can donate monetarily by scanning that QR code right there on your screen. We have seen such generosity from you guys this season, and we just want to continue to pass along that generosity to the kids here in Milwaukee in need of winter coats all the way up until December 7th, because it's already a very cold winter here, and we know it's only going to get colder, especially as we get into kind of those January months, which is never too fun whatsoever. But I just want to remind you, if you haven't given yet or you've been waiting, now's your chance. You can head to fox6now.com for more information. Scan that QR code on your screen, or if you have a tangible coat you're wanting to donate, you can go to any of the Milwaukee area Steinhoffels. There's 5 of those, or any Landmark Credit Union, as well as the Salvation Army churches and distribution centers. They have these giant blue kind of tubs that you can bring your coats in and donate. But if you're wondering what's the closest one to me, just head to our website. We'll help you figure out all that information, because we love that you guys are helping out the kids here in our community. Okay, so we're monitoring a couple things on our feeds. I actually want to take us somewhere local that's happening right now in the city of Milwaukee. This is a public works meeting. So let's listen in for a few minutes together, see what we can learn from items on the agenda, and then we'll go somewhere else in the feeds after this. Actually, I think we might have really crushed the timing of this and we completely missed the Public Works Committee, which, you know, it's fine. That happens sometimes here on the Wisconsin Live Desk. Honestly, I think it happens to me at an abnormal rate, where I'll go to something on the feed and right as I go there, it ends, which is never too fun, but that's okay. Delaney, can you work on figuring out what's on ELC 6? In the meantime, I'm going to actually take us back out to this camera that we saw pop up at the very beginning of the Wisconsin Live Desk. This is happening in Atlanta. The FBI and the U.S. Attorney's Office there kind of talking about a major meth bust. So let's listen in here and we'll take you somewhere else after this.
Trafficking and endangering the lives of Georgia citizens. Joint investigations like this one, in collaboration with our law enforcement partners that you see here today, are vital to fight drug trafficking, because drug trafficking organizations operate across borders, different agencies and jurisdictions. No single force can dismantle them alone. The Metro Atlanta operation that was referenced alone required the partnerships of those you see standing here today, our local, state, and federal partners. As was mentioned also earlier, I want to recognize our GBI West Metro Drug Enforcement Office and our Appalachian Regional Drug Enforcement Office. As evident in this indictment and future prosecution, coordinated investigations between multiple jurisdictions and swift prosecution by our U.S. Attorney's Office, thank you very much for that work, serve to dismantle these drug trafficking organizations, along with a strong and clear message that this criminal activity will not be tolerated in our state. There's 2 points I'll leave you with here today. What you have heard here today and will hear and witnessed in the items seized has definitely hampered the drug trade in Georgia, thanks to the great men and women of the agencies that are represented here today. It will not go into our streets, and it will not go into our communities. Here's my second point. That is to stop for a minute, for you to stop and realize just for a moment what could have been if these drugs had hit the streets in our communities. Stop and realize that for a moment. This did not make it. But what if it had? That's a hero moment, as I refer to it, a moment to praise our men and women in law enforcement as this fight will continue, keeping our communities and states safe from this kind of evil that exists. I thank you, and I will now introduce Major Kevin Head of Hall County Sheriff's Office. Thank you.
I'm Kevin Head. I'm the Chief Deputy with the Hall County Sheriff's Office. I mean, just look around you. That's what teamwork among law enforcement will do. I've been with Hall County 39 years. Largest seizure we have ever had of meth. You're looking at just in Hall County, that was 300 kilos. 660.
Alrighty, if you are just joining us, we kind of quickly dipped into this feed that popped up on our different kind of grids here that shows us where we can go with live news. This one was out of Georgia, as they talked about with the FBI. They're a very big meth bust. You heard this gentleman just say this is the largest meth bust they've ever had. So they were kind of providing the latest with that. I want to take us back out to what else had popped up on the feed. This is some breaking news. Moments ago, there was a press conference that just recently ended, but this is actually news that our sister station in D.C. is reporting on, the MGM National Harbor shooting. So there has been a shooting in the last hour or so that has left one dead after gunfire erupts at a food court, which I am assuming would be the food court right inside this building where the camera is. We know that a man is dead and another is hurt. Police are saying the shooting was reported just before noon. Of course, that would be Eastern time zone since this is D.C., so that would have been 11 o'clock our time here in Milwaukee. One adult man, as I mentioned, pronounced dead at the scene. A second man suffered a graze wound. Right now, according to our sister station, this is their reporting. They say detectives are searching for a suspect who they say fled the scene. The circumstances surrounding the shooting not yet known, but investigators say this does not appear to be random. Again, the shooting happened at the MGM National Harbor Hotel and Casino at the food court. So there was just a press conference not too long ago. I will keep my eye on our sister station's story where they are reporting the latest on this breaking news situation out of Oxon Hill, Maryland. And of course, I will bring you the latest here on the Wisconsin Live Desk. Otherwise, we're going to continue monitoring feeds between myself and Delaney. We'll bring you the latest news. We did just learn, coming up at 1:30, we'll be able to talk to Tim Van Voren. He's at Lambeau as the Packers, they get ready to take on the Chicago Bears. I think it's going to be a very highly watched game, and I am nervous about the outcome, which I'm normally not. So that should be good. We'll hear from him. I'll talk to Matt LaFleur, hopefully some of the players, and bring us the very latest there. Otherwise, we have the Wishlist Wednesday coming up, not too long. But we are going to just take a quick break right here on the Wisconsin Live Desk. We'll monitor more feeds. We'll bring you more news. Stick with us.
This is the Wisconsin Live Desk.
Hey guys, welcome back into the Wisconsin Live Desk. It is Haley with you here at 12:49. Another temperature check for you, 31 degrees, which actually kind of feels nice right now compared to yesterday where it felt like 10 degrees most of the day. But it is going to get colder as the day goes on. So if you need to do anything outdoors, I would probably try and do it now before it gets even chillier. Hopefully, though, you already have like your Christmas decorations up and all of that, so you don't have to go outside for too long. But let's go outside right now. Let's take a live look at Mitchell International Airport right here in Milwaukee. Yesterday was Travel Tuesday, so perhaps some of you guys book some flights if you have anywhere you need to go. I personally think it is always a luxury getting to fly out of Milwaukee. TSA, a breeze. For me, I don't have to pay for parking because I can easily find a friend to drive me. So if I'm always able to kind of justify the price of Milwaukee instead of flying out in O'Hare, I will, which I just am about to book a flight. I have it reserved on hold. We had a travel expert on yesterday. I asked her opinion on some things. But I have a trip that I'm going to plan where I get to fly out of Mitchell International Airport, which I'm really excited about because it saves me time driving to Chicago. It saves me time parking in Chicago. But more importantly, it's when you get back from a trip and you're utterly exhausted and you realize, like, I still have to drive home all the way from the city, that you can avoid when you fly in and out of Mitchell International Airport. Right now, pretty snowy out there, but the runways are nice and clear, so that's always good news if you are flying. Not too much weather that would, I think, impact any sort of delays. And we caught a plane that I think just landed, this Delta flight. Maybe you have loved ones that are on that flight that you're going to go pick up. Delaney, do you have any trips coming up soon that you were kind of eyeing flights on Travel Tuesday for?
I do not.
Really?
No.
Nothing's in the work at all for 2026?
Not yet, but hopefully something.
Should we plan a trip together?
I think we need to.
I actually don't know if we would get PTO approved for us at the same time.
That is fair.
Maybe, because Carrie and Trisha could easily fill in for you. We have lots of people who could fill in for me. So managers, if you're watching, we're going to argue that we can have some time off at the same time. Where should we go on our fictitious trip?
I think we have to go somewhere warm.
Well, your correct answer is supposed to be like it's a real trip. It's not fictitious, Haley.
Well, it is going to be a real trip, but it'll have to be somewhere warm.
Somewhere warm. Okay. I'm trying to think. So I right now have a trip in January to go see some friends in Greenville. So that's South Carolina. But it won't be like an easy winter there, but it won't be warm. It will probably be like 40s in January, which will feel very warm.
That'll feel nice compared to here.
Nice. And then in February, I'm going to Florida again because I'm running some more Run Disney races. So where should we go after that that's warm? We'll have to think about it.
We'll have to think about it, yeah.
Because I want to say something realistic. Like, I'm not going to be like, oh, Hawaii, because we're obviously not going to do that.
I know, we'll have to think about it.
We'll report back. Do you know where I want to go? But it would have to be a summer trip. I want to go to, like, Cape Cod.
I know, that would be really fun.
Do you know what we could do in Cape Cod?
The summer I turn pretty?
That's what I was going to say. I was going to say live all of our the summer I turn pretty, like, dreams. Because technically that takes place in Cousins Beach, which is a made-up beach. But it's near their home in Boston. So, therefore, it has to be, like, the Cape. So, if we go to the real Cape, we'll be good.
Then, yeah, we can just live out our dream.
Our dreams. Love that. Your dream on Sunday, if I had to guess, would be that the Green Bay Packers pull off a victory against the Chicago Bears.
It would be.
Yep. That would be my nightmare. I'm just kidding. It won't be my nightmare, but my dream would be for the Bears to beat the Packers. It's all love here. I will be okay if the Packers win because Wisconsin is my second home. But if Howard is watching right now, Howard is one of our producers who is a strong Green Bay Packers fan. And sometimes, you know, I just like to ruffle his feathers a little bit and talk about Chicago and Chicago teams and how great we are. And right now the Bears are the 1 seed in the NFC. So I had some fun with Howard talking about that. So if the Bears then lose, I have to take back all of those words and just like silently sit there. So I would love to not have to do that. But we'll see. You never know. The Green Bay Packers definitely beat the Lions last Sunday. Wait, they did not play on Sunday because they played on Thanksgiving. But they did win their game in Michigan. So we'll have to see what happens on Sunday. I also saw that they play the Bears again in a few weeks. Obviously, division rivals, you play one time home, one time away. So when they're at Chicago, Delaney, get this, the game, Fox just moved it to prime time. They moved that one to 7 p.m.
I know.
Do you know what that means? It means that people care. It means people are going to tune in because for the first time in a while, this is actually a rivalry.
It is.
I feel like either team could truly win it, which I would not have said about the Bears any of the past seasons. But I'm feeling good with Caleb Williams. So we'll have to see if Jordan Love, Caleb Williams, what that matchup looks like. We did want to bring a little bit of an update to you. We have a new game that will be on Fox 6 at noon. This is a change from yesterday. So just want to let you know at noon now, you can catch the Bengals at the Bills, which I will be watching, Delaney. Why? I want to see if she knows the answer to this.
Joe Burrow?
Which team does he play for?
He's Bengals.
Delaney, I'm actually so proud of you right now. Completely accurate. Joe Burrow will take on Josh Allen's Bills. So also, people like Josh Allen. So that'll be a good one. I'm excited to be able to watch that on noon here at Fox 6. Of course, stick around after that for your Packers. And then after that, we have a special edition of Fox 6 News. Tim Van Voren will join us from Lambeau with all the latest. And then 10:30 at night, Fox 6 Sports Blitz will have a full recap of everything that you need to know. We're talking about Lambeau. Let's take a live look at Lambeau. Here we are in Green Bay at 12:55 this Wednesday afternoon. It's a snowy one out there. And Delaney, who is here right now? It's not, she's looking at me so confused. You know who's at Lambeau right now?
The Packers and Tim Van Voren.
And Tim Van Voren, that was the answer. TVV. I'll have a good little fantasy football update for TVV coming up here shortly. Delaney, I'm a little confused. You were just on the phone with TVV. I don't know how this didn't click for you a little bit faster.
I know.
I wish we could have shown your face. She was like, Haley, I don't know who's there. TVV.
I know. I was thinking TVV, and I was like, did I miss something? Is there somebody else? But Packers Wednesday, Tim Van Voren.
Packers Wednesday, Wisconsin Live Desk, TVV, the place to be. That rhymed. Proud of myself for that. Do you know what I was going to tell you? I just learned this week. When I think who's been here longest at Fox 6, I think Ted Perry. I would be wrong. TVV has been here 3 years longer. He started in 1990.
Really?
And Ted Perry was 93. That shocked me. Keith, our floor director, told me that a few days ago. And I was like, oh, wow. I didn't know TVV was such a Fox 6 legend. But yeah, since 1990, he's been covering your Packers.
Oh, wow. I knew he was here for a long time.
Yeah.
But good to know.
Very good to know.
The more you know.
The more you know. All right, we are getting ready, Delaney, to take a very quick break. But do you know that today was a really exciting day for me before Hugh Jackman came in? Because something dropped this morning.
Spotify Wrapped.
Spotify Wrapped. If you are not a Spotify user and you're wondering what that means, they collect data throughout the entire year of how long you listen, what you're listening to, what you love, and then they drop all the information so you can find out who your top artist was, what your top song was, your favorite genre, your favorite album, how many albums, how many artists you listen to. And a new feature for Spotify users this year, your music listening age. So they guess kind of how old you would be based off of what you listen to. And that is a conversation starter. I don't know how old Adrian, the producer, is on Wake Up. I would guess he's somewhere in his 20s. His music age is 82. It was 82 or 84. And I nearly fell out of my chair laughing.
I want to know his top artists.
Clearly it is, he just listens to the classics. He listens to the oldies, the goodies. My age, we'll save it. We'll have to see what it was. We'll make some full screens for you. We'll get the information. Because Delaney, not Spotify, Apple Music, but you still got kind of your version of rap today.
Yeah, Apple Music still does a replay version. They don't have the age,
I know.
which I am really jealous of.
Well,
I think that's a fun feature.
I should have Spotify. So I remember when I found out here live on the Wisconsin Live Desk that you were not a Spotify user, and our friendship nearly didn't survive, but it did. We're
I
still
know.
friends.
After this year learning the Wrapped and the age, I might have to go back.
We're converting her. We're converting her the same way Wisconsin converted me to a Bucks fan. I like to throw that in so that people don't hate me too much because they know I'm a Bears fan. So I did become a Bucks fan for y'all. It's a good compromise.
I think it's a fair compromise.
Thank you. I'm glad to hear it. All right, Delaney, can you send us to break? And then I think Wishlist Wednesday is coming up next.
We'll be back after this short break.
This is the Wisconsin Live Desk.
Hey guys, and welcome back into the Wisconsin Live Desk as we now hit that 1 o'clock hour on your Wednesday afternoon. It's still 31 degrees outside. Again, that is expected to go down as the afternoon comes. Normally, I think it gets warmer throughout the day, so just want to remind you, it's going to do the opposite today. So if you need to go anywhere, I would definitely bundle up. Even if you're feeling like it's nice right now, it might not be by the time you head back home. Well, it is Wednesday, and today on the Wisconsin Live Desk, we want to introduce a new segment that we are calling Wish List Wednesday. We are joined right now with Erica Eichmans with the Ronald McDonald House. Erica, thanks so much for joining us here on the Wisconsin Live Desk.
Thank you so much for having me.
Of course. So when I first moved here, I live very close to Children's, and I saw that we had a Ronald McDonald House, and I thought, oh, I want to get involved because that is such a good cause. But for those who have maybe never visited the house or haven't heard of it, can you tell us all about what you guys do for our community?
Definitely. So we are a lodging resource for families so they can stay close to their children while they receive care at a local partner hospital. So, we work with Children's Hospital, we work with Fredert, Rogers, Aurora, Ascension, any hospital that can help provide the care that a child needs. And we provide the services to make sure that the family, parents, caregivers, siblings, everybody that can and is able to stay close because we know that, it takes a village.
It does, absolutely. And I feel like, when a family is already dealing with some sort of a medical situation with their family, there is so much added stress, so much added financial, worries and insecurities there. So to not have to worry about where we're going to stay tonight and to have it such a close spot, especially if you're at Children's or Fredericks, it's such a valuable service that you guys offer here for our community. I'm curious, how long is the average stay for a family when they're at Ronald McDonald House?
Yeah, so for a typical family is around 8 days in one of our standard rooms. But for our long-term families, they average staying 119 nights.
Wow.
Which is incredibly long. It's a long time to be away from home and to have to be kind of in a strange place. So, we obviously do everything that we can to make sure the family feels like they're at home as much as we can.
Yeah, absolutely. We're seeing some pictures here from those who have had significantly longer stays, from 200 to even this is 362 days we're taking a look at right there. So I know for families like that, you don't want to feel like you're in a hotel for a year. You want to feel like this is my spot. And when you walk around the Ronald McDonald House, you really are a house. There's kitchens, there's all these other kind of spots for a family. Can you give us kind of a lay of the land there in Tosa?
Yeah, so we do really try to make it a house. So we have communal living spaces and communal kitchens, so families, can obviously prepare their own meals, their own recipes. We want to make sure that every family, kind of feels like they can be comfortable. But our rooms are very much set up in a hotel-like way. So the rooms have, a bed, a private bathroom, and then we also offer different ways, to make sure that we can accommodate the family, whether it's an extra air mattress or a pack and play or a bassinet for a little one, just to make sure everybody in the family, can stay in the room. And then in our larger long-term rooms, so for families that do have to spend a really long period of time at the house with us, we have 2 separate bedrooms and more of a living space for them. So a couch with the TV and all of that, just because we know that spending a long time here and just being in a small hotel-like room, does not have a home-like feel. So giving them that extra space is really important for us.
Yeah, absolutely. So I would imagine then, as we talk Wish List Wednesday and maybe some items that you are in need of, I would guess that everyday kind of needs and items are on that list.
Yes. So, our needs are year round. We operate 24/7, 365 days a year. These families with kids with medical needs, they don't get evenings and weekends off. They don't get days off. And we have 84 guest rooms in our house, and the 9 kitchens that the families share, they have 25 stoves. They have 45 refrigerators and 23 dishwashers. And so when you think about the volume of like paper towel, disinfectant wipes, tissues, dishwasher detergent that we go through to keep this house operating, it's very significant. And those simple supplies just go a long way. They're used, constantly by our families to just make sure that their space, what they're calling home while they're here, is clean, comfortable, and just ready for the families at all times, because we're always trying to be one step ahead of them. So if their kiddo spills, we want a paper towel roll to be right there for them to grab it and not have to think like, oh gosh, do I have to run to the store in a strange place, where I don't know where the closest store is and I don't know where to go, to get something like that. So, those items are so essential, for our house to continue operating.
Yeah, absolutely. When I toured the house, one of my favorite things that you provide for families that I wouldn't have thought of was cards. So if they are, having a birthday in the family, or they want to send a thank you card, or Christmas is coming up, or an anniversary, I'm sure going to the store to go and buy a card to send somebody, they don't have the time, the energy, any of that. But I love that you offer that, as well as deodorant and, shampoo and conditioner, because exactly, staying ahead of the need, it's just already there for them when they realize I'm in need of that item, and it just makes that step of already going through a hardship within the family that much easier, which I love that you do. So I'm sure people watching right now, they want to help out, they want to give. How can they do that?
Yeah, so we have a couple different ways that you can help us out. So if you're able to donate, we have a wish list page on our website. So if you go to our website, on the top menu option, there's ways to give. If you click on our wish list, we have a few different categories of wish list. So our house needs, those are some of our really greatest needs of here around the house. We also have some really fun, holidays, and our magic room, which is an awesome place where every kid that's here gets to pick out a toy to make, their experience here at the house a positive one. But while you're picking out toys, just remember those, grabbing a roll of paper towel too, or a pack of dishwasher powder, just to help us get through, those, our daily operations. And there's also drop-off details on our website as well. You can sign up for a drop-off shift. We offer that 7 days a week. We also accept, monetary donations as well, if that's something that your family can support.
Yeah, absolutely. You also have some merch, right? If we wanted to go and maybe support that way and then rock some Ronald McDonald House gear.
Definitely. Yep. So that's also on our website. Our new winter gear is coming out. So our sweatshirts and long sleeve shirts and hoodies and all of that, winter hats. So those are available and they can be shipped directly to you.
I love that. I also always like to remind people, because I know times can be tough and maybe they don't have the extra money right now to support that way, but I know you're always in need of volunteers, right? That's another way we could help out.
Definitely. So also on our ways to give, in that menu drop down, it's our volunteer experiences. And so we're always looking for people to come to the house and make meals, making homemade snacks. We have a wide variety of volunteer opportunities as well, for people to come in. We ask for, a commitment, just because the tasks are pretty vast in this large house. But taking a peek at that and seeing those ways that you can help is also incredibly impactful, because we could not do what we do every day without the support of our volunteers.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love what you said at the beginning too, which I just want to reemphasize here as we round out the interview. But you guys are really, in need of help year round. Obviously the holidays, we all think it's a great time to give back, and it absolutely is, and we can help out now, but also just keep you in the back of your mind when the holidays end and those other summer months kind of pop up, that you guys are still there and we can still help you out as well right around that time. Erica, anything else you wanted to say?
No, I don't think so. Just thank you so much for having me and for letting us talk, about the Ronald McDonald House of Eastern Wisconsin. And we couldn't do the work without, all the support that we get from the community. So thank you for letting me share.
Of course. Well, thank you so much for stopping in on the Wisconsin Live Desk. We'll make sure and get some info up on Fox Local on how everybody can give back that way. All right. Thanks, Erica.
Thank you.
Always love to kind of hear how we can give back here in the community. I personally live pretty close to the Ronald McDonald House, so I was just so excited to see one here where I live and know that I could lend a helping hand, whether that be going and making a meal, making blankets, bringing a donation. A good reminder that those everyday household items, things so easy and simple as paper towels and dishwasher detergent, go such a long way for these families. Body wash, deodorants. Next time you're at the store, if you want to just grab a couple extra items or shop their Amazon wish list, I know they will be very grateful for that. All right, we are working on a couple other stories. I believe in the next few minutes we're going to be joined by our very own Durante Matthews, because I have a question for you guys. Do you have a favorite family recipe? And if so, where do you keep it? Or where do you like to go for those kind of recipes? Interesting enough, some people put them on their gravestones. So if you go to cemeteries, you might be looking at some new recipes to try. Such an interesting concept. There's a new book called Recipes to Die For. So Durante is working on a story all about that today. And when we get back from this break, he will join us from the newsroom. Stay tuned.
This is the Wisconsin Live Desk.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Wisconsin Live Desk. It is just about 1:15 now on your Wednesday afternoon. It is Haley. I'll be with you until 2:30. Then Ben Handelman is taking over. He'll get you guys all the way to 3:30 as we continue to monitor the feeds behind me and bring you the latest news, both as it happens here in Milwaukee, around the country, sometimes even around the world. As things happen, of course, we'll bring that to you right here on the Wisconsin Live Desk. It is beginning to become, afternoon. Pretty soon it will be evening. Maybe you're already thinking about dinner. And maybe you want a new recipe for like a chicken spaghetti casserole. Well, turns out there's a spot in Racine you can go to get that recipe. We're going to bring in our very own Durante Matthews. He is in the newsroom right now. Durante is going to preview his story for us, which I just got to say, when you first pitched this story in our morning meeting, I was like, where is he going with this? And I was like, oh, this is amazing. Okay, let's start with this recipe. Where can we find it in Racine? Because I know it's not the most normal of spots.
No, not normal at all. And you were right. A lot of people, when I first pitched this idea, they were looking at me like, okay, there's a recipe? Oh, what's the news angle with this? So there is this woman out in Mount Pleasant. Her mother had this recipe for a chicken spaghetti casserole. And I'm thinking, okay, like everybody else, when you store a recipe, you would probably keep it in your kitchen. Well, no, her recipe, or her mom's recipe, is on her gravestone out in the cemetery. So if you're looking for a chicken spaghetti casserole recipe, and I actually tried it, it was good, you can just go to the cemetery and find it there.
Okay, so I mean, for starters, Durante, whose idea was this? Was it her mom? Was it the woman's idea? And why was it so important to keep this on the gravestone?
So it was the woman's idea, or I would say rather the family. They collectively decided to do it. And, you know, I asked her, I said, you know, what was so special about this recipe that you would put it on her gravestone? And they said because it was her. It was her world. They say, you know, cooking was her love language. It was how, you know, she expressed herself and how she showed love to her family. And also, she said her mother cooked that recipe like every Tuesday for her grandkids, to the point where I think the mom was like, okay, Mom, you need to make something else now, because this is a lot.
The family was tired of it.
Yeah, they were like, okay, well, when we thought of what recipe to put on her gravestone, there was no question, it was this. So yes. Yeah, it's there. She said it's not really for everybody. You know, it's not something everyone would think to do, but for them it works, and it's definitely a conversation piece.
It absolutely is a conversation starter, and you're so right. I mean, it's more than just food. For this, it's a labor of love. It's a family tradition, and I know people who take such pride in their recipes, and I love that this is kind of permanently going to be remembered by being etched, you know, in her gravestone. But they're not the only ones to do this, right? It turns out it's a little bit of a trend that even inspired a new cookbook.
Yeah, again, like I said, it's not for everybody, but more and more people are starting to do it. So there is this woman, her name is Rosie. She's based out in Los Angeles right now, and she has created this new cookbook called To Die For. Kind of on the nose there, but inside of it, it's 40 gravestone recipes. So she has traveled across the country to different cemeteries, different grave sites, and saw recipes that were engraved on people's headstones, and she decided to put those in a cookbook along with a story, photos, and information on the families that those recipes are related to. So in that book you'll find things from cookies to casseroles and things like that. And the Mount Pleasant woman who I spoke with, her chicken spaghetti casserole recipe is in that book as well. So yeah, it's definitely not something I expected. And, it's interesting, to say the least.
It is. I'm curious, Durante, how does the family here, you know, in Wisconsin feel about this recipe now being used in a cookbook? I imagine it just extends, you know, their loved one's legacy, really, and now even more people can try this recipe that she held so close to her heart.
Yeah, just that, Haley. You know, she said, the woman who I spoke with, she said, you know, her mom was really kind of known for that recipe, and in fact, she has cooked that chicken spaghetti casserole recipe at other people's funeral services as well. It's not really a funeral dish, but it's starting to look like it a little bit. But yeah, she said, you know, the fact that this is now, well, one, it was really for the public when they put it on her gravestone, but now that it's actually in this book that you can really buy anywhere, now she said she's glad that, you know, a piece of her mother can be shared with the rest of the world. And in, you know, such a profound way as cooking, because, you know, for a lot of people whose recipes are in that book, you know, some of them are still grieving loved ones. Yeah. And, you know, what's the best way? Well, there is really no one way to grieve, but I can't imagine anything wrong with grieving with a memory and a meal.
Yes, oh, absolutely. I was going to say selfishly, too, I feel like all these recipes, these 40 recipes in the book, they have to be really good, because if you think of like the one thing that they were going to have on their gravestone, it's got to be that recipe they were the most proud of or they thought tasted the best. Do you think you'll cook any of these, Durante?
There was a snickerdoodle recipe that I saw that I may give that a try, because I have a bit of a sweet tooth, to my detriment, because I hope I don't have any cavities. But yeah, I may try that one. And again, you know, that chicken spaghetti casserole, that was the only thing so far that I've been able to try, and it really was good. You know, I actually brought some. We interviewed this the woman on Friday, and when we came back, we brought some for folks here at the station, and they seemed to really enjoy it too. So I may give that one a go.
Oh, I'm sad that I wasn't here Friday. I totally would have tried that. It sounds so good.
Yeah.
Okay, so I know your story. It is airing today. Durante, do you have a favorite part of it that you're really excited for our viewers to get to see?
Just seeing how she talks about her mother, it was really heartwarming. You know, we I don't know if I want to spoil this. I will say, I'll have spoil it. So The recipe is etched on her mother's headstone, but the headstone is actually in 2 different places. So it's at a cemetery and it is somewhere else. So I am excited for you to see where the second one is.
Well, Durante, that is a tease. So now we absolutely need to tune in. Do you know when your story is airing and we can catch it on Fox Local?
You can catch it at 5:30.
All right, we will keep our eyes and ears peeled, waiting for your story. Durante, thanks so much for joining us here on the Wisconsin Live Desk.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
Of course, such a fun kind of concept right there. And I love the title of that cookbook, To Die For. As Durante said, it's right on the nose. But yeah, as he continued to pitch the story, I was like, this is genius, and it's such a good talker, and I'll have to try and get my hands on that cookbook so that I can go ahead and try some of those recipes, because I'm sure that they are pretty good. I can't wait to get to watch that full story. And now I'm curious where the other part of the gravestone is. That was such a good tease by Durante there. All right, coming up, we are going to talk to TVV, because again, if you missed it, we've got a pretty big game coming up on Sunday at 3:25, which you can catch right here on Fox 6. Green Bay Packers taking on the Chicago Bears. That's going to be a good one. So he's going to join us from Lambeau, give us the latest after talking to kind of some of the coaches there, the players. I honestly need to do a little research, get some good questions ready for TVV. Delaney knows I always get a smidge nervous because I want TVV to be proud of me with these interview questions. But I feel like most of the time he is, Delaney.
I know, I feel like most of the time he's impressed.
So I'm going to do some research in this commercial break and see if I can come up with any good ones. But I'm also really excited to tell him about my fantasy update because he helped me pick my quarterback last week. Which one should start?
That's a good update.
Right? I think it's good, and it ties in because now we have the Bengals playing the Bills on our channel before the Packers game.
Yeah, makes sense.
Delaney, I have a question for you.
Let's hear it.
How long until we can talk Spotify Wrapped?
Just finishing up a couple full screens. So
okay, so I feel
shortly.
like probably after TBB we can get to Spotify Wrapped.
That's what I'm thinking.
I think it's a plan. All right, we're going to take a quick break right here on the Wisconsin Live Desk, monitor some feeds, get some questions ready for TVV, and then we'll be right back after this. Stay with us.
This is the Wisconsin Live Desk.
Welcome back to the Wisconsin Live Desk on your Wednesday afternoon. It is Haley, and I'm slightly sad because we just barely missed seeing a Southwest Airlines plane take off. It was really exciting to see, and we missed it because we were in commercial break. But that's okay. I'll keep my eye on this feed and see if we can catch one later. Something interesting to me, here in Wisconsin, you see all that white stuff on the ground. Of course, that's snow. But then you take a live look in D.C., they still got green grass. They got no snow there. I'm a little bit jealous because we just keep hearing of more potential snowfall next week even. Of course, it's still a ways away, but our weather experts are monitoring it. I'm good. We got the white stuff on the ground. We're good for a little bit, but unfortunately the weather doesn't care necessarily just too much. It's just gonna do what it wants. Speaking of DC, something just kind of popped up on the feed here that I want to take a quick listen into. This is some different House Democrats speaking about the Dignity for Detained Immigrants Act that they're trying to bring to the floor. So let's listen together and see what we can learn.
ICE has turned out the lights and locked the door and used the transfer system to make it very difficult for people to locate their counsel, locate their loved ones, and move forward with attempting to see that they have due process. That has to end. ICE will not hold themselves accountable, and so Congress must act to safeguard health, protect the safety, and uphold due process. I urge more people to sign up for this bill, to call their congresspeople, let them know that they support this, that nothing else will fix it unless Congress acts. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sarah. We have another just remarkable and horrific story. I'd like to introduce Dr. Badr Khan Suri, who is a professor and has been doing so much in the academic world and also has his own detention story. Dr. Suri.
Thank you very much. Thank you, everyone, to be here. And I must say that I am really overwhelmed with gratitude that Congresswoman Jayapal, you have introduced such a important bill which we really need, which everyone needs. Thank you for this timely intervention. When we need empathy and mature resolution of issues in this crisis. We know that civil detention requires standards in place. There needs to be accountability in the system. Without accountability, no system prevails. We know that these facilities must show some compliance based on these standards. Detention facilities cannot be used for abusing human rights, basic rights. I mean, these for-profit entities should know that they cannot just think of make money and inflict tyranny. They should, and everyone should know that in this country, this institution has given us constitution, due process, and nobody can whittle down that. Institutions cannot let anarchy prevail. Anarchy cannot let due process derail. We know that Congress is supreme. We know this Constitution is supreme, and that will protect us. With this, I must say that when I was abducted and I reached this ICE facilities, first they would disappear you. My family didn't know where I am for 4 or 5 days at least. I was so scared that what would happen to my kids who are also immigrants like me. And once I saw the immigration facility, I was broken by just mere sight of that, by the smell of that. There was no space to put my foot in. And then they just throw me in a storage room where I slept or maybe just lay down that night on that floor. For the first time, I saw that there are cameras over the toilet. For the first time, I realized that people have to sleep on floor where cockroaches are just roaming around. There won't be blankets. Then they just took me from one place to other without never letting me know where I am going, where they are disappearing me. Entirely Kafkaesque story. Then they put me in an aeroplane where I didn't know where it was going, but I saw that there were people like me, chained, ankle, wrist, their body chained, and we were all going somewhere, nobody know where. Sometimes I thought, because of the turbulence, that maybe they will just crash this plane and get rid of everyone. Then we landed in this Louisiana, My family never know where I am. And they just locked us. I kept on asking, can I make a call? There are phones here. They said, no, just figure out. Later I realized after 6-7 days when they put me in Texas that there need to be a pin, which they never bothered to give me. When I was in Texas, I said that I have a toothache. There is some infection. They said, no, you need to be here for 6 months to have a dentist visit. So when I came out of this detention, I just lost my tooth. So there was extreme pain in my body. I asked that I need some blood test. They were not ready for it. I said that don't say that administration is not allowing you. In Nuremberg, these arguments were thrown away. There is a day of reckoning. They were good nurses, and finally they allowed blood tests for me. It was very bad. My cholesterol was very high. My vitamin D was very low. So they say that we will give you a medical diet. What was medical diet? Same thing. In place of white bread, they gave me brown bread. I said, what is this? I met...
Okay, if you are just joining us, we've been listening live here in D.C. where House Democrats have been speaking on the Dignity for Detained Immigrants Act. We've been listening right here to this gentleman who was kind of saying what he says was his experience while he was detained, kind of walking us through what he went through there. We'll keep our eye on this feed, see if we can learn more about that Dignity for Detained Immigrants Act, and certainly bring it to you here live on the Wisconsin Live Desk. We're also keeping our attention here in D.C. This is the White House, because shortly we are expecting to hear from President Trump. We're told he'll be making an announcement out of the Oval Office that was slated for 1:30. So far, we don't have an Oval Office shot up in our kind of feed system, which means it's probably not happening anytime necessarily remotely soon, probably in the next 15 minutes, 30 minutes. But of course, we'll bring that to you live here on the Wisconsin Live Desk as soon as we see President Trump in the Oval Office. In the meantime, let's take a live look at Lambeau in Green Bay, where you can see the snow right outside. You can see some cars passing by, and on Sunday you can see the Green Bay Packers taking on the Chicago Bears. I think it's going to be a good one. We are joined live right now with Tim Van Voren, our sports director. How you doing, Tim? Happy Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday right back at you, Haley. Yeah, sunshine, a little snow on the ground. We're bracing for cold temps coming up on Sunday afternoon. But how much better does it get than the Packers and Bears that means something in December?
It really does. I'm so excited / nervous for this game on Sunday. Before we talk Bears, let's head back to Thanksgiving. Obviously, the Packers defeating the Detroit Lions 31-24. You were there. What stood out from you with this game?
The Packers played a good football game. They didn't beat themselves. They've cut down on their penalties of late. They've cut down on their interceptions, fumbles, that sort of thing, their mistakes. The offensive line has played a little bit better. I think it all ties together. Jordan Love is good this time of year. He had 4 touchdown passes. Dontavian Wicks was the big-time wide receiver, and Micah Parsons was doing his thing from the defensive side. So that's Packer football. That's winning Packer football against a good team on the road. In the dome, though, in the Ford Field scenario, we'll see how it translates here to outdoor, colder, different conditions on Sunday. Coming out of that game, the Packers did lose their standout defensive lineman, though, Devontae Wyatt, to injury. They've had some trouble defending the run this year, Haley, anyway, and now they won't have Devontae Wyatt, and the Bears run the ball very well. So that's kind of the formula coming into this game this week. Can the Packers stop the Bears on the ground in the cold at Lambeau?
We will certainly have to tune in and to see. Speaking of Thanksgiving, I need to know, because we talked about the halftime show last week. How was it seeing Jack White and, surprise, Eminem?
It was good. I will tell you that the front page of the Detroit Free Press the next day, the newspaper over there said, headline was, as a matter of fact, well, at least we had halftime. So, the Lions lost the game. They weren't feeling very good about that, but the halftime show was a hit. The local ties there with Jack White and Eminem, and people stayed in their seats. That doesn't always happen at halftime, but it was worth staying in your seat at Ford Field.
Yeah, absolutely. I was like, wait, I didn't know Eminem was going to be there, and I thought I had dropped the ball. But then I was like, oh, no, it was a surprise kind of for everybody. So that's really fun. I love to see that.
Yeah, absolutely. A cameo. Our photographer, our sports photographer, Mickey Lee, said he did make eye contact with Eminem. So, down there, right there, gets you inside.
Yeah.
that he could bring across on Fox 6.
Very cool. Very cool. Also cool, there's some awards for the Packers in recognition this week. We got Micah Parsons, the NFL Way to Play recipient. Jordan Love, the NFC Offensive Player of the Week. How do we feel? Week 13 now, seeing some, accolades for the team.
I think it's positive. Obviously, as we just mentioned a moment ago, Haley, the Packers played a good football game on offense and defense. And then you get accolades when you do that, particularly in a high-profile game on the road, a game that moves you up in the NFC standings, definitely enhances your position, at least in the NFC playoff picture. So those guys are worthy of that recognition as far as I'm concerned, and they kind of set the tone for the game on both sides of the ball. They will tell you, and we're about to go into the locker room here in just a little bit, but they will tell you, that's awesome. Now what's next? I mean, that's the way these guys are wired, and what's next is a very big football game.
That's right. Okay, I want to talk wide receiver Jayden Reed. Been out for a while now, potentially returning against the Bears. How impactful will he be on the field if he's there?
I really like Jayden Reed as a player. Matt LaFleur today was talking about what he can do with yards after the catch, that he's so strong in that area. And LaFleur said that Reed also brings kind of that dog mentality to the offense, does all the dirty work, does whatever's called, will get in there and mix it up a little bit. He's not a big guy, but he's a tough, feisty guy. And this time of year, you need some of that too. So Jayden Reed, I think he will be activated in time for this game, just based on where he is on the practice schedule and the conversations I've had with Jayden over the last several weeks. So we shall see. As I say, Dontavian Wyatt was hurt the other day. He's going to be out for the rest of the year, so he could make a very easy roster move of taking Wyatt off and putting Jayden Reed on the roster. I would expect that would happen in time for Sunday's game.
Okay, we'll keep our eye out on that one. I got to say, Tim, as a Chicago Bears fan, I apologize. I was born there. Usually this time of year is not enjoyable for me. Like, I know the Bears probably aren't going to win. I'm going to have to get ready to hear the flack. This year, I'm feeling like there is a chance. I'm curious, what are you thinking about the matchup? Any predictions? How do we feel against Jordan Love, Caleb Williams facing off?
Well, no apologies necessary, Haley. You're born in Chicago. That's okay.
That's
Plus,
right.
You're so young. You know, the Bears' glory years were way before you there. So that's all good. Matt LaFleur's career record, 11-1 against the Bears. So the Packers have dominated this rivalry. But the Bears, of course, and Caleb Williams got one last year. So that gives the Bears some hope, and they've been a much better football team this year. They've been kind of stockpiling talent the last few years with high draft choices. They went out and signed a lot of guys on the offensive line this year. They're a better football team. They're better coached. They have Ben Johnson. You should be excited as a Bears fan about what they can do. And I think they impressed a lot of people on Black Friday, just taking it right to the Eagles at Philadelphia. So, the Bears are a good football team. You have reason to be enthused. I think it'll be hard for either team to win twice in the next 3 weeks. I wouldn't be surprised at all if it's a split because these two teams play again on Saturday, December 20th. That's a Saturday game in Chicago, and that's now a Saturday night game. So a couple of primetime Packers-Bears games coming up here. Not primetime, but I mean marquee games, 3:25 on Sunday and then 7 o'clock on Saturday in a couple of weeks. That's good stuff.
Yeah, I was going to say, I feel like that's how you know both teams are doing well. There's a good, strong rivalry when we keep seeing these game times switch because they know people are going to want to tune in. They're going to want to see it. You know that I always, on Wednesday, like to fill you in on my fantasy team.
Right.
We had, obviously, Joe Burrow reactivated. He's my quarterback, but I still had Brock Purdy. Caleb Williams was my backup. You suggested to play Burrow, TVV. That was the correct move. Out of all the quarterbacks, he got me the most points, just about 20. So should I do the same this upcoming week?
I don't think Caleb Williams is going to have very big numbers. I would say that, and the Niners are on a bye, right?
Correct.
I think about Niners. Yeah. So you go Joe Burrow again. The Niners are a team to watch in this whole NFC thing, but that's another story. And Haley, I'll admit, when you started to ask me about Jayden Reed, I thought, I wonder if Haley's got Jayden Reed on her bench, trying to bring him into the game. So I kind of know where you go on these Wednesday conversations.
I don't have Jayden Reed on the bench, but I am going to struggle a little bit this week because my star running back all season long has been Christian McCaffrey. He was my first draft pick. He has been consistently solid for me, 20-plus points. So I got to figure out what running back I'm going to be putting in here. So I'll see what's on the waivers right now because nobody on my bench is that great, TVV. I'm a little concerned.
I got you. McCaffrey, of course, for the Niners, so he's on a bye this week, so you have to fill in with somebody. These are where you make the real money, Haley, this time of year, these executive decisions. Brian Gutekunst, he deals with some stress as the GM of the Packers, but how about what you're dealing with this week? Let's not disregard that.
Thank you for taking this so seriously, TVV. I appreciate it.
Yep.
I do have good news. Regardless of what happens, I have already clinched my playoff spot.
Excellent. Congrats.
Thank you.
You can rest your starters.
That's right. That's right. All right. Before I let you go, TVV, I have a totally off-topic question for you. Coming up here on the Wisconsin Live Desk, Delaney and I are going to talk about Spotify Wrapped, which, if you're unfamiliar, it just kind of tells you your top songs of the year or your top artist. For you, what do you think your top song or top artist would be that you've listened to this year?
I think Shabuzi's been unavoidable all year long, right? I mean, so that's the song. Whether I listen to it or you get it, you couldn't miss it anywhere along the line. So I mean, that song, the Tipsy song, that was just it's an earworm. So that's what I'm going with.
There we go. This is why people have to tune into the Wisconsin Live Desk, because it's the only place we get these kind of answers from Tim Van Voren. Of course, TVV Sunday's game here on Fox 6. So we'll make sure and tune in, see it right here.
That's what you need to tune in for. Yeah, you can get away with some of these other topics. But yeah, Sunday, and then a special edition of Fox 6 News afterwards. We're anticipating being out in the cold. So, hopefully we'll have good things to talk about for Packers fans.
All right. We are looking forward to it. Well, hopefully there's maybe good things to talk about for me as well as a Chicago Bears fan.
I hear you.
All right.
I hear you. 2 big games in the next 3 weeks.
We'll see how it goes. All right. Thanks, TVV. Enjoy the rest of your Wednesday.
See you, Haley. You too.
Always fun to check in with him, get the latest there from Lambeau. He's about to go inside, talk to some players, bring us the latest news. You can catch more of his interviews from today on Fox Local in just a little bit. All right, we are going to take a break here on Wild, the Wisconsin Live Desk, and we'll be back here in 2 minutes with some more news for you. Stay tuned.
This is the Wisconsin Live Desk.
All right, Wisconsin Live Desk. We have teased it for the last hour and 15 minutes, and it is time to finally discuss what artist Delaney and myself really love. It is Spotify Wrap Day, and I just have to say, I'm almost overwhelmed today because normally on Spotify Wrap Day, that is my personality. I'm obsessed. I want to know what I listen to. I want to know what you listen to. I want to know what your mom listened to. I love the Instagram stories. And then all of a sudden, I'm in the midst of this high, and then Hugh Jackman walked into the newsroom, and then my body was like, we got to take a break. This is too much excitement for one day. So I, ate my lunch, and now we are ready to discuss Spotify Wrap. My body is ready again for some more excitement. So let's go ahead and bring in Delaney, of course. Delaney doesn't have Spotify. You have Apple Music. So what is yours called again? Rewind? Replay?
It's called Replay.
Okay. Before we get into our top artists, did anything on your, Wrapped thing surprise you?
Not really.
Okay.
I think I had one album that felt surprising.
Okay.
But I wasn't surprised at all. Were you?
I was not really surprised, except for one thing surprised me, which I don't even think I gave you the clip of. Sorry, I don't want this thing to start singing. So I want to look it up what it was. What surprised me was my top genre. Okay, if it could show me, that'd be great. Oh no, it doesn't want to. Oh, hold on, I'm getting there. It's a lot of things to scroll through, you guys. Spotify does it really pretty. My top genre this year, I was like, what? It would help if I was prepared for this. Pop country. That was very interesting to me.
Mine was the same, which was a little interesting, but then one of my top artists, it kind of makes sense.
It makes sense for me when I saw two of my top artists, then I was like, okay, this makes sense, but it just surprised me in the moment. Yeah, I have pop country, and then musicals, and then CCM, which I think is Christian music. I need to look that up. For country, 5 acoustic pop. I'm surprised not pop isn't just there. Interesting. All right.
Yeah, that's how mine was.
Let's not delay it. Let's start with Delaney. I'm just going to have to go in order because I don't know. We'll just see what we pop up and you're going to talk about it. Okay, I don't want to do that one. Hold on. Let's do top songs to begin. Or top artists. What do we think is better?
Let's start with top artists.
Top artists. Okay. Drum roll, please. Delaney's top artist. Okay, walk us through here.
Sabrina Carpenter, not surprised. She had 2 new albums.
Wow, that also wasn't close. You listened to her 3 times more than you listened to your number 2.
I know. Ariana Grande, kind of a surprise. Noah Kahan, Role Model, also kind of surprising, but his song Sally came out this summer, and I listened to that a lot.
Yeah.
And then Megan Maroney, which makes sense why pop country would be most listened to.
Okay, I get it. I'm going to take this down, pull you back up so I can see if this is what my top songs are. That's my top artists. I don't think my top songs are here. Did I not send you my top songs? I'm going to have to pull it up. We'll do top songs, but also Jason Calvi did just appear in the newsroom. So after this, we'll take a break, go to Jason, then we'll come back. Don't worry, you guys. Wrapped is I'm telling you, the highlight of my day. Okay, my top songs. Wait, top artist, right?
Yeah, top artists.
Okay, I would just again like to apologize. As a reminder, everybody, we met Hugh Jackman today. Brain's gone. Number 1, no surprise at all, Jonas Brothers. 2, which does surprise me, Taylor Swift. I'm actually not a Swiftie. However, I love The Summer I Turned Pretty, which heavily used her music. So then I was listening to the songs they featured in the episode.
That one makes sense.
Right. 3, Kelsey Ballerini, which is where my pop country makes sense. And I also think Taylor contributed to pop country. Love Kelsey Ballerini. Got to see her live back in April, so I was obviously on a kick after that concert.
You saw her live?
I did.
That's so fun.
She came to Greenville. She also came to Fiserv.
Yeah.
In case you're wondering. Yeah. Number 4.
Fun.
This is how you know Delaney and I should be friends. Sabrina Carpenter. And number 5, which does actually shock me a little bit, Rascal Flatts. A couple of songs I do love. 1, he has a collab with the Jonas. It's a band. They have a collab with the Jonas Brothers. But 2, I'm a Disney girl through and through. I love the movie Cars. I listen to Life is a Highway constantly. They're on the Life is a Highway World Tour right now, and I am seeing them in January in Milwaukee. So that'll be good.
That'll be fun.
Which then, this is kind of fun. So then I have seen the Jonas Brothers, I've seen Taylor Swift, I've seen Kelsey Ballerini. I'm going to see the Rascal Flatts. I have yet to see Sabrina Carpenter live.
I haven't seen her live either. I think that means we have to go if she announces a tour.
Somewhere warm to go back to how we started the Wisconsin Live Desk. That's our trip.
There we go.
Done. Full circle moment right there.
Perfect.
All right, because I don't want to waste our excellent political reporter's time, Jason Calvi, he is in the newsroom. Delaney, let's take a quick break. We'll go to him. We'll talk his story because it is important and I want to get to our viewers. And then we'll go back to talking more Wrapped.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Because hint, one of my things involves Summerfest. Hint, hint. All right, we'll be right back.
This is the Wisconsin Live Desk.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Wisconsin Live Desk. It is Haley with you here at 01:54. Got about 35 more minutes with you, then Ben Handelman will take over, get you to 3:30 as we continue to bring you the latest news as it happens kind of live here on the Wisconsin Live Desk, which I do want to go ahead and bring in our very own Jason Calvi. He is in the newsroom, and Jason, you actually have a bit of breaking news for us here on Wild in relation to the Wisconsin State Supreme Court.
I always like to jump on right away when there's some breaking news. So the Wisconsin Supreme Court just ordered that they are taking jurisdiction over a case involving immigration. So this is a hot button issue that's been playing out nationally right now under the Trump administration, where you've seen sort of this crackdown at the national level, where you've seen National Guard going in, you've seen ICE blitz operations, including the Midway Blitz and others across the country. So what's going on right now is there's actually a case working its way through the courts in Wisconsin, and the Wisconsin Supreme Court has decided to pick up this very case. So what is this case in particular? Well, it's been filed by ACLU of Wisconsin on behalf of Voces de la Frontera, which is an immigration rights group here in the Milwaukee area, in Wisconsin as well. And what they're challenging is they're challenging county sheriffs who follow ICE detainers. So right now, ICE can issue what's called a detainer to a local sheriff saying, hey, keep this person that you have locked up in your jail, keep them locked up. That's called a detainer. So ICE might have a person that they want to work through the deportation process that might be in a county jail. ICE will issue a detainer, and then the county sheriffs will follow that and keep that person locked up for a certain number of days. So that is what Voces de la Frontera and the ACLU are challenging. They want the court to issue a ruling that this process is illegal, that these detainers should not be followed. So it ties in with ICE, it ties in with immigration, and now the Wisconsin Supreme Court is asking the parties on both sides to answer several questions regarding these detainers and participation between police and local law enforcement and the federal immigration officials.
So before we get to your story, Jason, because I know you're working on some other news as well, I want to stick to this breaking news. Just fast follow-up question. Was this kind of expected that the Supreme Court was going to kind of step in with this case, or is this kind of a shock to people?
Not necessarily a shock. We know that the Supreme Court of Wisconsin is run, or has a majority liberal control of the Wisconsin Supreme Court. So when the ACLU filed this case in the fall, and it still is the fall, so just a few months ago, it was possible that the progressive leaning or liberal leaning court would potentially pick up a case like this, a hot button issue like abortion. What's going on here is normally these cases would work its way through the lower courts, but the ACLU said directly to the Supreme Court, hey, before we work our way through the lower courts, why don't you just pick up this case? And today the Supreme Court said, yes, we'll take jurisdiction over this particular case.
All right, Jason, appreciate that breaking news kind of lowdown. Now I want to switch gears to the story you've been working on today, which has to do with SNAP benefits and funding. Really, the USDA now threatening to pull funding from Democratic-led states. Tell me more about the situation. Walk us through what we need to know here.
Yeah, so right now Wisconsin is at risk of losing some federal money regarding food aid. And what's going on here is back in February, the federal government, remember DOGE and sort of this effort to go after what Republicans called waste, fraud, and abuse. Back in February, the federal government, the USDA, asked every single state to turn over a list of names and also the immigration status of everybody receiving SNAP. It has many different names. In Wisconsin, it's known as Food Share. It could also be known as food stamps, but it's the SNAP program. And so the feds asked the states to turn over that information, and it turned out that some states did. Republican-controlled states did turn over that information, as well as North Carolina, which, as you know, is a Democratic-run state with a Democratic governor. So those Republican states in North Carolina did turn over the information, but states like Wisconsin and other Democratic states with Democratic governors did not turn over that information and actually sued the Trump administration over that request. And so that process is working its way through the courts. There was a federal judge that said the federal government did not need to demand this collection of information. But yesterday there was, as you know, on the live desk, there was this cabinet meeting where all the cabinet secretaries spoke, and the USDA secretary, the agriculture secretary, spoke and said that they're urging the states. Last week they sent a note to all these states that hadn't turned over the information, asking them once again to turn over that information, and if they don't, they risk losing some federal assistance. What is that money on the line? The USDA, one of their spokespeople, put out a statement saying it's not the direct money that's going to SNAP recipients, it's not the direct money that's being put onto people's direct EBT cards, but what it is the Trump administration says they're going to go after the administration, the money that the federal government gives to states to help them administer the SNAP program. So that is what the latest threat is from the Trump administration, and again, this is also part of that process of a lawsuit at the federal level regarding this particular request. And again, you're seeing the states that are run by Republicans already turning over that information. The USDA secretary said that they did find examples of fraud thanks to that information. So that's why they're saying they need this information to go after what they call waste, fraud, and abuse.
Yeah, I mean, it's a kind of complex issue there. And of course, you talk about SNAP funding. We just kind of got through the government shutdown where there was a risk at funding. We saw how much the need was here in Wisconsin for those dollars. I'm curious, have we heard from Governor Evers yet on this kind of new development, as well as why Democrats aren't wanting to give this information? What is kind of their argument there besides saying it's unlawful?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, they have that lawsuit working its way through the courts. So that's point number one. Point number two is, there was worries, as you remember, when DOGE was picking up its work in that early part of the President Trump's second term here, where there was questions about what kind of information DOGE was getting, the Department of Government Efficiency, what kind of information were they getting about private taxpayers. So there was sort of a hesitancy to share that information with DOGE. So that's part of the worry. The other part is the states say Wisconsin is saying this is a lot of information that would need to be turned over, and they feel like that's a burden. They're worried about how the information is going to be used, the private information of people. So again, we're still waiting to hear back from the Evers administration on exactly the latest response to what's going on here, as this court, as really the secretary was speaking just yesterday. So we're still waiting to hear from the Evers administration here in Wisconsin about their reaction to how this is all playing out. But at the same time, now here we are, it's December 3rd, and there's a second part of the SNAP debate, and that is the big, what Republicans called the big beautiful bill, which is now law, that tax and spending law that was signed by President Trump. It does place new restrictions on SNAP funding. What it does is it says that people that receive the SNAP benefits need to, there's certain exemptions, but they need to be working or volunteering or searching for a job 20 hours a week. So those are the new restrictions that were put in under that new tax and spending law. They went into effect now. They are on the books right now as we speak. So we're looking at what role that's going to play for the people in Wisconsin. More than 700,000 people in Wisconsin who receive food share. Now, of course, it doesn't apply to people that have, there's certain exemptions to this work requirement, including those who may have small children in the home, et cetera. So there are some exceptions there for that work requirement, but otherwise, you're going to have to prove that you're working 20 hours a week, looking for work 20 hours a week, or potentially volunteering 20 hours a week.
All right, Jason, I know that you are busy kind of working on your story, which is going to air at 4. We appreciate you still taking the time to break some news and join us here on Wild. Anything else you wanted to touch on with SNAP benefits before I let you go?
Well, we did interview this brand new candidate for governor who you and I talked about yesterday, Mandela Barnes, the latest Democratic candidate for governor. And we asked him today, was able to speak with him. He was visiting a play, it's a coffee shop / play area. So it's a play cafe is what they call it in Wauwatosa. And we visited with him there. He was going around talking with the people that were at that coffee shop. And we asked him about this SNAP controversy. So we'll bring you that sound. We'll hear from him as well as the federal government Secretary Brooke Rollins. We'll hear from her about why she wants this information from the states, including the state of Wisconsin. So we'll bring that to you right here on Fox Local at 4 and 5 tonight.
All right, Jason, you have been busy today being our political reporter, working on a ton of different stories there and bringing us the latest news. Thanks so much for joining us here.
Thanks, Sally.
All right, we'll let Jason go. I know he's still got to work on his story. Again, as you just mentioned, tune in Fox Local 4 and 5. That is when he will have it. Hey, while we're talking to Jason, which makes sense, he's our political reporter, we did have this pop up on our feed, so we're going to listen in here together. Chuck Schumer clearly talking healthcare right there. Hakeem Jeffries behind him. That's the Senate Minority Leader and the House Minority Leader. So let's listen in here to these Democratic lawmakers.
3 weeks struggling. How are they going to pay this bill? How are they going to pay that bill? What am I going to cut off? But they're in this bubble. They don't get it. Well, Democrats know our job is to fight for the American people and to lower their costs. Republicans have no unity. So Democrats are fighting to lower health care costs. Republicans are fighting with one another. Questions?
Mr. Leader, thank you. Actually, this is directed to you, Leader Schumer. Do you plan to introduce a proposal for a clean 3-year extension similar to the discharge petition that the leader put forth ahead of next week's vote? And second...
Well, let me answer the first one in 2 words. Stay tuned. Second question.
Okay. But you're united, right? So
we are united. We are united.
Okay. Second question.
We are not united within the entire Senate caucus.
I'm just curious if either of you have seen this new DOD IG report. I know it hasn't been made public yet, but there are some details that have come out suggesting that the Secretary may have jeopardized sensitive military information in that signal group chat. I just want your reaction.
I haven't seen it yet. It's only available to right now, a classified version to the members of the Intelligence Committee, but I await its release publicly tomorrow.
Yeah, I have not seen the report. Pete Hegseth is the most unqualified Secretary of Defense in American history. The sooner he's gone, the better off the American people.
Peter Jeffries, do you support President Trump's pardoning of Henry Cuellar, and have you spoken to him to Cuellar today, and do you believe that he will stay loyal to the caucus?
I issued a statement on this earlier. My statement speaks for itself. I look forward to talking to Henry when we go on the floor in just about an hour.
Look, the Republican senators have an opportunity to show they're on the side of the American people. And next Tuesday's or next week's vote, we don't know what day yet, next week's vote will show whose side they're on. Are they on the side of the billionaires? Are they on the side of Donald Trump, who says he doesn't even know what affordability means and is it a crisis, or on the side of the American people? We'll see.
When are you going to tell us what you are voting on?
Stay tuned.
Yeah, this is not that complicated. What we've seen, right, House Democrats and Senate Democrats in complete alignment in defending the health care of the American people from the very beginning. Every single House Democrat, every single Senate Democrat opposing the one big ugly bill. Why? Because it enacted the largest cut to Medicaid in American history. It literally ripped insurance away from about 14 million people all across the country, including in rural America. At the same time, Democrats standing united against the one big ugly bill. Why? Because it set in motion hospitals, nursing homes, community-based health centers closing all across the country. We oppose the cuts to the Centers for Disease Control. Together, we oppose the cuts to the National Institute of Health. We oppose their effort to take away vaccines from the children of America. And now you see people getting sick all across this country, including in South Carolina, where kids actually couldn't even go to school, apparently, for weeks because of the Republican health care crisis. And we're standing together in fighting to extend the Affordable Care Act tax credits.
Thank you. Leadership said that Republicans will have a chance to support some piece of legislation next week.
All right, if you are just joining us, we've been listening in here as Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries kind of answers questions from the media about affordable health care. Obviously, that was really the big divider of the government shutdown. Democrats very much wanted to see affordable health care participate in that funding bill and be a component of it. Republicans said they wanted a clean bill. They didn't want anything about affordable health care in there. We saw the government shutdown reach a historical spot, lasting the longest it's ever done. It got to a point where SNAP benefits were at risk, where airlines were seeing, they had to cut traffic behind. Because of that, Democrats finally said, we're going to compromise, but later on, we want something on affordable health care brought up on the Senate floor, which Republicans in the Senate did agree to. So that's kind of the latest there on the affordable health care kind of fight and battle between Democrats and Republicans. Obviously, hearing there from two Democrat lawmakers. Just want to remind you, we're expected to hear from President Trump at some point from the Oval Office, where he's expected to make an announcement. So we'll also hear from Republicans later on here on the Wisconsin Live Desk. Again, no real timetable for when that might be. We are told 1:30. That is clearly running a little bit behind. Typically, the pool camera can't go up until just a few minutes before, and right now we don't have any pool camera up. So we'll keep our eye on that, and we will let you know as soon as we have it. I do want to get you to a little bit of sports breaking news for Milwaukee Bucks fans, which obviously includes myself, right, Delaney?
Yeah, you're a Bucks fan.
I'm a Bucks fan now. This just came in. Obviously, regarding Giannis Antetokounmpo, we're told Justin, he and his agent have started conversations with the Milwaukee Bucks about the two-time NBA MVP's future and discussing whether his best fit is staying or elsewhere. This is according to some sources. Sources told this to ESPN. A resolution is expected in the coming weeks. Delaney and I were saying this has kind of become a big talker. I even saw this on TikTok and Instagram last night. I think Delaney did as well. People are curious what Giannis is thinking about the future, because it appears that all of his Bucks photos have disappeared from his Instagram timeline. Right, Delaney?
Yeah, I saw that on social media last night.
So it's always interesting when it makes it to my TikTok feed, because I'm not the biggest basketball fan. So if I'm hearing about it, you know that a lot of people are talking about this.
Yeah, I feel like this happens kind of frequently.
Yeah, so
like talks of him leaving. So we'll see.
I mean, obviously people just get nervous. He is a huge component of the Bucks. He's been a star this year on the court. No one wants to see him leave. But obviously he is from Greece. He's very proud to be from Greece. He obviously has represented his country a few times, both at the Olympics and some other different kind of tournaments and games. So curious to see if he stays in the U.S., if he stays at Buck, if he goes to a different team, if he maybe goes and joins the European League. But of course, we will let you know. Slight tangent for you, Delaney. This tweet is from Shams Charania. Do you want to know something cool?
Yeah.
Do you know where he went to college?
Did he go to Loyola?
He went to Loyola. Yeah, he is so good at what he does. But he is a Loyola University Chicago Rambler, which if you are just tuning in thinking that's an odd tangent for her to go on, I am also a Loyola Rambler. But it's really cool. Basically, he got in and made a name for himself all on his own. Really at the time, the Chicago Bulls weren't doing super well. They weren't getting a ton of coverage. So he ended up going like on his own accord to the Bulls, forming a really good relationship with them, covering them on his own. Again, this like wasn't for Loyola. It wasn't for a news channel or anything, but covering them and becoming kind of an insider. And now he has a huge successful career. So it's always cool when I see that Tarini is breaking something because he really did that all himself. But anyway, just in case you're worried about what's going to happen with Giannis, of course, we will keep our eye on this. As you see, a resolution expected in the coming weeks. So as soon as we know something, we will bring it to you here on the Wisconsin Live Desk. All right, Delaney, should we go back to talking about Wrapped and Spotify and Apple Music?
Yeah, let's finish.
Let's do it. We'll speed it up a little bit because I have a feeling people don't care about it as much as I do. We talked about our top artists. Now let's do our top albums. So we'll start with you again, Delaney. Walk us through. Oh my gosh.
Top albums: Sabrina Carpenter, Man's Best Friend, the Short and Sweet album by Sabrina Carpenter. Number 3 is weird because it's not actually an album.
Right.
It's a song on her album, Man's Best Friend. The Dua Lipa album, I'm a little bit confused about, but I think I listened to a few songs from there. And then number 5, Love Me Not, is also a song.
Okay.
It's not an album.
Interesting. I guess like when they release them as like almost EPs, but it's a single song, it counts as an album.
Yeah, I guess.
I don't think I even sent you my top album because I got really frustrated because Greetings from Your Hometown, which is the new Jonas Brothers album, which is amazing, got somehow my top 2 because there's a deluxe version and there's a regular version. And I do love the song Tantrum, which is off of Deluxe. But I just felt like that should have been categorized into one thing, like just Greetings from Your Hometown.
Yeah, that is weird. It would be 2, but I guess if there's 2 different albums and you're listening to both,
I guess.
Makes sense, but
I guess. All right, let's talk top songs because I do have a graphic for me of that. But we'll start with you again, Delaney.
top songs.
Delaney is predictable.
I know. Man-Child, Sabrina Carpenter, Somber's new song 12 to 12, another Sabrina Carpenter. This one makes sense. Role Model. Yeah, that was a fun song this summer. And then Tears from Sabrina Carpenter's newest album.
Delaney, I have a question for you.
Yeah?
Will you be my Sally tonight?
Of course.
Did you know where I was going when I asked you that?
No.
Yeah,
I didn't know that was going to come.
She never knows. Some good songs there. You know, Nicola actually introduced me to Somber. I really like his song Back to Friends. That's the only one I've really listened to.
Oh, yeah. He has some good songs.
He does. He does. All right, let's get... Oh, wait, I don't have a top songs. I only have top artists. Okay, Delaney, really showing some favoritism here. Hold on. Let me pull up my top songs on Spotify Wrapped. But you know what? You guys already know. I clearly am an old person because I don't know how to operate this that fast. It took me forever to get my other thing. Okay, top songs. Here we go. Number 1, Love Me to Heaven by the Jonas Brothers. Honestly, a little surprised that's my top Jonas Brothers song, but I was obsessed with it at the beginning of this year. It says I've listened to it 185 times.
That was a good song.
It is a good song. Thank you. It's so good. I Dare You by Rascal Flatts and the Jonas Brothers is in spot number 2, which the Jonas Brothers on their current tour have like a surprise guest at almost every tour stop. And when they came to Milwaukee, I was really hoping for Rascal just because they have that collab. We got Yellow Card. So didn't know the surprise guest, but it's okay because I'm seeing the Rascal Flatts now, obviously, in January. Number 3, Happened to Me, which I talk about that song all the time. It's Russell Dickerson, and I said I love his music, and he's coming to Summerfest, and this solidified that you and I have to go see him.
I know we do.
Okay, she said you heard it here, so she tries to back out, folks. 4, Baggage by Kelsey Ballerini. And then number 5 is a song called Never Been Better by Ben Abraham. Well, I love this song. It's kind of like a song, it's like I've never been worse, I've never been better. It's good. I really like that. Okay, obviously we need to talk top, well, we already talked top artists, right? Is that what we started with?
We started with top
But did we
artists.
talk about how I'm like actually the absolute best Jonas Brothers fan?
We did not.
Okay, yeah. Obviously, my top artist is the Jonas Brothers. Obviously, Delaney. I listened to them for 4,649 minutes, and I am in the top 0.01% of global fans.
That's impressive. I don't think that's surprising.
Thank you.
You're a big Jonas Brothers fan.
This just shows me that I'm loyal. Like, I'm a loyal person.
Yeah, loyal fan.
I will say I've gotten this kind of 0.01% global fan the last couple of years, but this year they added a new feature. They tell you exactly where you rank. So I'm the 8,859 top listener of the Jonas Brothers globally. They have more than 25 million listeners each month. So I'm actually shocked that I'm in the top 9,000. Like, that's kind of crazy to me.
That is crazy, but it's fun that they showed you where you fall in line.
Yes. I was thinking that, like, I think of, like, when I saw them at Pfizer Forum, and I'm like, that was probably, 3-4 times the amount of, like, that of times 9,000. So it's like, oh my gosh, like, that's just to put the perspective of, like, the top fan that I'm in. I don't know. I'm really proud of that. I'm going to wear that like a badge of honor.
You should.
Thank you. So the other new feature that I have this year that you don't, because again, you just missed it. She's actually an Apple Music girly. They did this new feature telling us your musical age, and I love it because you heard Adrian, 82, 84. If you missed it, our producer who's in his 20s. This is my listening age. We are 35. It says I'm 35 because I was into music from the late 2000s, which is probably a lot of, like, Camp Rock, High School Musical, Jonas Brothers, Hilary Duff, you know, the Cheetah Girls, High School Musical classics.
Yeah, I think it makes sense for the music that you were listening to.
Yeah, especially because Jonas Brothers, I think, are people who are in their late 20s, early 30s. People think it's teenagers, but no, because we grew up with them.
Yeah, I was going to say, we grew up with them, so that makes sense.
Also, it really makes sense to me because, you know, in my life, people always tell me that I'm really mature and that I'm living beyond my age, and according to my music taste, I am a little bit older than I actually am.
Yeah.
Actually, a really fun twist of events. Side note, if you want to go more in depth on my Unwrapped, or my Wrapped, 9 a.m. tomorrow on Wake Up, Carl Deffenbaugh, myself, and Donovan Long are going over our top musics here. Love that our producer Brooke knows how much I love this, and she was like, Haley, I'm adding you into this segment. Sign me up. But Carl is age 30. So somehow Carl's music age is younger than me, despite myself being younger than Carl.
It'll be interesting to see everyone's music taste.
I really will. Yeah. I love Wrapped. I hope that y'all love Wrapped. Please send me if you are Apple Music, fine, but preferably Spotify. Send me your information, like your top songs and artists. I always hate on social media when people are like, stop posting your Wrapped. I hate going through them. Like, I want to know. Like, I love learning about people through their music taste.
I'm in between. I like to go through them, but then sometimes I'm like, okay, every story.
Delaney, it's one day of the year. Okay, Grinch. That is your favorite Christmas movie, so it makes sense. Just kidding.
I don't mind it, but sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes.
Like, I think sharing one or two is fine, but when people put the whole Wrapped, I don't look through it.
Okay, let's see if Delaney's calling myself out. Have you been on Instagram yet today?
Yeah, I watched all yours.
Oh, okay, so
yeah.
Oh, wait.
You only had, I think, like 3.
2.
You didn't have that many.
4. I had 4. Is that allowed?
Yeah.
If you make it through on my Wrapped, you get to see Hugh Jackman coming into the newsroom and saying, hey, y'all, good morning. So you really want to stay through my Instagram story right now.
Definitely want to click through.
At HG Spittler, I am verified now. I was really excited, Delaney, when Carrie, our digital manager, he got me that verification. It made my day. Anyway, let's do question of the day.
Let's do it.
National Candle Day. Do you have a favorite type of scent when it comes to a candle?
I like more of like a linen or
Yep.
like a clean.
Yep.
I think during this time of the year, though, I like a balsam scent.
Wow, what a big word. I love
But
it.
usually linen, something clean,
Yep.
fresh.
Yep. I'm boring. I'm the same way. I want like a clean linen, just to combine both of what Delaney is saying. I do also around this time, I'm good with like a Christmas tree, but I still, what you're saying, like I don't want like the gingerbread sugar cookie. Like I don't ever want that. It's overwhelming. I feel like if I'm lighting a scent, I want it to like calm my house, not add to the chaos of my house. But we were asking Kale this, another one of our managers here, and he also brought up like wood type scents, and I was thinking of Bath and Body Works, which I haven't shopped at in years, but they used to have mahogany as one of their scents, which I bought because of the Hunger Games. Because Effie, is that her name? Effie Trinket, I think.
Yeah.
Anyway, they're on their train getting to go to the Capitol, and they like, smack this table, and she goes, "That is mahogany." So anyway, that's why I bought that candle, and it smelled delicious.
That is a really good candle.
And a really good movie.
Yeah, that's true.
That's
great
true.
series.
Love. Well, I could do without Mockingjay.
Yeah.
You know what? I was gonna say I'm spoiling it. It's been out for like forever. They make you fall in love with Finnick just to kill him in the last movie. It's horrible.
I know, that wasn't.
When I read that book, I was
twist.
like, "Are you kidding me?" I read Mockingjay in one sitting because I wanted to know the ending. Really quick, and this is actually going to determine the trajectory of our friendship. Really, if it continues past today or if it ends here in the wild closet. Team Peter or Team Gale?
I was Team PETA.
Thank goodness. I don't understand the Team Gale people.
No.
So, okay, I'm glad to hear that, Delaney. All right, let's do true or false. National Candle Day. The first Bath and Body Works store opened in 1990. Okay, that would make it 35. Oh my gosh, did this store open the same year that Tim Van Boren started working at FOX6? Because I love TVV and 1990, let's say true.
This one is true. It opened in September of 1990 in Massachusetts.
Okay, so I did go see if he started before September. There is a chance that he has worked here longer than Bath and Body Works has existed. Think about that, Delaney.
That's crazy.
Think about that. Wow, interesting. Okay, that's very interesting. Love that. We haven't had a ton of question of the day. That might be our first one of the week. So I'm 1 for 1.
1 for 1 this week.
We love that. I'm also 1 for 1 for meeting Hugh Jackman today. If you guys missed it, let's pull it up one more time. Because this is why I think a lot of us are just, not mentally here right now. Hugh Jackman stopped in at FOX6. Gino, again, far left, brought him in, talking songs sung blue. He is very tall, very Australian?
Yeah.
I sometimes get confused about New Zealand, but I think he's Australian. Hugh Jackman, Australian, perfect, and very nice. And I did somehow get to sit directly to his left, or in this photo, to his right. And
I know, you got the best seat.
Well, you guys can't tell, but Delaney's hair on this is falling perfectly. Like, I'm annoyed at how good you also look in this photo. So props to you, Delaney.
Thank you.
We love it. All right, hey, we'll leave this photo up as we go to break because we're all having a good time here. We'll get back. We're still waiting for potentially President Trump to make an announcement, and I promise you, we'll take you to the Oval Office once he begins that announcement. But for now, we'll leave you with our picture of Hugh Jackman. It's Hugh and you and me and our FOX6 coworkers. You like that, Delaney?
I do. I liked that one.
And you know what people say about the Wisconsin Live Desk?
What do they say?
They say, "This is the greatest show." Dang it, I wish I could have gotten that joke out because it was good. This is the greatest show, the greatest showman. That was
a good one.
Good, Delaney. All right, we'll be right back after this.
This is the Wisconsin Live Desk.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Wisconsin Live Desk here at 2:26, which means our time together is almost up for this Wednesday. We should have Ben Handelman take over here at 2:30 shortly. A couple of things we are still monitoring here and we're expecting momentarily. One would be we're expecting to hear from President Trump out of the Oval Office where he is set to make an announcement. We just got word that the pool, which is kind of what they call all the members of the media that get to go into the Oval Office, that bring their cameras, is how we get our feed, was called to gather at 15:18, so that would have been, I don't know why I said that time, but we were called about 10 minutes ago. As you can see, that feed just changed. We are now in the Oval Office with President Trump. Behind the scenes look as they're still getting ready here. That's why they're zooming in, focusing their camera. Again, we're in the Oval Office where he's expected to make an announcement. So let's just go ahead, listen in together. My guess is when this ends, it'll be Ben Handelman. So it's been a pleasure to be with you the last 2 hours. Now we'll hear from the president.
The administration is taking historic action to lower costs for American consumers, protect American auto jobs, and make buying a car much more affordable for countless American families and also safer. We're officially terminating Joe Biden's ridiculously burdensome, horrible actually, CAFE standards that imposed expensive restrictions and all sorts of problems, gave all sorts of problems to automakers. And we're not only talking about here, we're talking about outside of our country, because nobody could do it. Nobody wanted to do it, and it was ridiculous, very expensive. It put tremendous upward pressure on car prices. Combined with the insane electric vehicle mandate, Biden's burdensome regulations helped cause the price of cars to soar more than 25%. And in one case, they went up 18% in 1 year. Today, we're taking one more step to kill the Green New scam. It's part of the greatest scam, probably, well, other than Russia, and a few others I could name. The greatest scam in American history, the Green New scam. And it's a quest to end the gasoline-powered car. This is what they wanted to do, even though we have more gasoline than any other country by far. And people want the gasoline car. They want everything. They want electric. They want to have lots of alternatives, but they do want the gasoline car. Right now, it's leading away by a lot. The car business is a very interesting business, but we want to keep it that way. I want to thank Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy, Deputy Transportation Secretary Stephen Bradbury, as well as CEO of Ford, Jim Farley. Jim, where is Jim? Let's see. Hi, Jim. Congratulations. You're doing a great job. CEO of Stellantis, Antonio Filosa. Thank you very much,
Thank you very
Antonio.
much.
Chairman of the National Automobile Dealers Association, Tom Castrita.
Yes, sir.
Thank
Yes,
you
sir.
very
Yes,
much,
Mr.
Tom.
President.
Great to have you. And manager of General Motors Orient Plant, John Urbanek.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Great to have you guys here. And you're going to say a few words in a minute about how ridiculous this was, but we've just freed you up. So you're going to have a good day. You're going to have a good number of years. Thanks as well to Senator Shelley Moore Capito, Ted Cruz, Kevin Cramer, Marsha Blackburn, Eric Schmidt, and Bernie Marino, as well as Representative Sam Graves, Vern Buchanan, Mike Kelly, Roger Williams, Lisa McClain, and Troy Balderson. All great people. These are great people. And I know there's a lot of support long beyond the people that are here. We had tremendous support on this. From day one, I've been taking action to make buying a car more affordable. I signed an executive order to end the unfair, expensive electric vehicle mandate, as you know, where you had to have an electric car within a very short period of time, even though there was no way of charging them and lots of other things. It would have cost $5 trillion to build the charging plants. And as you know, in certain parts of the Midwest, they spent, to build 9 chargers, they spent $8 billion. So that wasn't working out too well. That was done before me, by the way. I wouldn't have let it go forward. We're canceling the EPA's absurd tailpipe emission standards, one of the most important things that I've never had a group of people come to me more powerfully and really just devastated that they had to do it. It was killing them, than the automobile manufacturers, the tailpipe emission standards. And I can tell you, your people at Ford were coming to me all the time, and they were saying, like, please, it doesn't do anything, and it's killing us. and it's driving the cost through the roof. And we revoked Biden's emissions waiver for California so that California communists could not regulate the automobile industry and ruin the entire nation of automobiles. And they were doing that too. But we have that now under control also with your governor, who's got much more than he can control. Now, under the new rules being issued today by Secretary Duffy, the Department of Transportation will rescind the Biden fuel economy prices. And I hate to say that because they were really not economy. They were really, they were anti-economy. They were horrible what they were doing to the costs and actually making the car much worse. But these policies forced automakers to build cars using expensive technologies that drove up costs, drove up prices, and made the car much worse. The action is expected to save the typical consumer at least $1,000 off the price of a new car, and we think substantially more than that. Under the Trump administration, $70 billion are now being invested in the American auto industry. Ford has announced it will invest $5 billion across its Kentucky and Michigan plants. Is that a correct statement?
That's right.
That's a lot, $5 billion. You could do more. Creating at least 4,000 new jobs. Stellantis announced that it will invest $13 billion to expand its U.S.-based manufacturing by more than 50% and open new manufacturing facilities across the country. And I think a big part of that is also the tariffs. Because of tariffs, they're coming in. Not only the automobile industry, AI, we're leading China in AI, we're leading everybody in AI, we're leading everybody in everything. We have the hottest country right now. I will tell you, a lot of political people behind me, great political people, very successful political people. We have the hottest country anywhere in the world. 1 year ago, we had a dead country, and now we have the hottest country anywhere in the world. And it started from November 5th, but it also started when we did the tariffs, and we've had tremendous support on the tariffs. It's bringing in trillions of dollars of wealth. It's bringing in national security. And I've stopped 8 wars, and of the 8 wars, 5 of them have been because of tariffs and trade. So they're very important. And General Motors plans to invest $4 billion as it brings its manufacturing back to the United States from Mexico. After falling by 5% under Biden, U.S. auto production has surged by 10% so far this year. You know, I won the auto workers vote, but now even the head of the auto workers said Trump is the greatest president we've ever seen. And happens to be right about that. But we're protecting our auto workers, and we're making it easier for every family to afford high-quality cars. In other words, we're bringing automobiles back and the manufacturing of automobiles back into this country. We lost 52% over the years, 52% of our automobile manufacturing. You see it, closed factories all over the place. Now they're all opening up. They're being, in most cases, they're being knocked down, and new ones are being built in their place. And a big beneficiary is the state of Michigan, but South Carolina, even states that didn't really do too much with the automobiles, they're opening up plants. It's been amazing. So between automobile plants, AI plants, and plants of every other nation, really every other type, including chips, we're going to have a big percentage of the chip market very soon. Not because of the CHIPS Act, which was horrible and ridiculous, where we just gave these companies billions and billions of dollars, and they just kept the money, but because of what we did with tariffs. They have to build here, otherwise they're going to have to pay tariffs. They won't be able to do business in the United States. And we're going to have a big percentage of the chip industry. As of about a year ago, 2 years ago, we had none. And now we're going to have a very big percentage when it all finishes out. So I'd like to ask Secretary Duffy to speak, and then Mr. Farley, and then Filosa, and Urbanik, and Castrita. And also we're going to ask some of our political leaders to speak, because let me tell you, they went out of their way. This was not easy. The people were brainwashed. This is a green new scam. And people were paying too much for a car that didn't work as well. And now they're going to have a great car that's going to be environmentally friendly, but it's going to cost you a lot less, and it's going to work great. All of the nonsense is being taken out of the cars. So, Secretary Duffy, could you say a few words?
Thank you, Mr. President. So yesterday at the cabinet meeting, the president was talking about affordability, and the way that Democrats talk about affordability is a lie. Today is a perfect example of that. So These CAFE standards used what was contrary to the law. The Congress set a rule that says you have to look at combustion engines. Biden and Buttigieg actually did an analysis using...
Edge,
that's right. Edge used EVs and hybrids to come up with a 62 mile an hour per gallon standard, which I think the car companies will tell you is completely unattainable. So they spent a lot of money on technology trying to meet the unattainable standard, driving up the cost of a car, number one. And then number two, if they couldn't meet the unattainable standard, they had to trade for carbon, costing billions of dollars, and again, driving up the price of the car. So, Mr. President, what Democrats were doing were not making cars more affordable, they're making them less affordable. The consequence of that is going to be that more Americans can afford to buy a new car, which means they're going to be safer on the roads because of all the great new technology we have that save lives. So we'll have less death on American roads. These rules are going to allow the automakers to make vehicles that Americans want to purchase, not vehicles that Joe Biden and Buttigieg wants them to build, which is important. But also, this is important for American jobs. The more cars we sell, the more jobs we have in this country. And so this is jobs, this is freedom, and this is common sense, Mr. President. So thank you for your leadership. And I appreciate what the Senate did with the big, beautiful bill and what we've done here today. So thank you.
Thank you very much. A big, beautiful bill is it's something. It's amazing. Wait till the people see the benefits and the lower taxes that they're going to have, lower regulations. So, how about Ford?
Mr. President and Secretary, all the important lawmakers here, competitors, today is a victory of common sense and affordability. We're very proud of Ford to be the #1 auto producer in our country. 80% of the vehicles we sell here we make in our country.
Great.
And we never left, unlike many of our competitors. We're the #1 exporter, and we have the most auto factory workers. And this CAFE standard that is aligned with customer demand is the right move for a lot of reasons. We were #2 last year in EV sales, we were #3 in hybrid, and we're the leading brand for combustion. We believe that people should be able to make a choice, as you said, Mr. President, and we will invest more in affordable vehicles. This allows us to invest in affordable vehicles made in the U.S., which we will take the lead on, and will allow us to make vehicles more affordable. So thank you for making this step for all of you.
Thank you very much. One of the other things we're doing, it's separate from this meeting, but I think everybody here would agree with it. If you go to Japan, where I just left, and if you go to South Korea and Malaysia and other countries, they have a very small car, sort of like the Beetle used to be with the Volkswagen. They're very small, they're really cute, and I said, how would that do in this country? And everyone seems to think good, but you're not allowed to build them. And I've authorized the Secretary to immediately approve the production of those cars. So you'll be able to buy, they really are, they're actually, some of them are really beautiful, actually. If you take a look, Honda, some of the Japanese companies do a beautiful job. But we're not allowed to make them in this country. And I think you're going to do very well with those cars. So we're going to approve those cars. Would you like to say something about that?
Well, no, just that he never stops working, so even when he's on Asian time, he's calling me at midnight in the States. But he gave me the directive to clear the regulations on this, which we have. And so if Toyota or any other company wants to make smaller, more affordable cars, fuel efficient, we have cleared the deck so they can make them in America and sell them in America.
They're really nice and less expensive. And it really gives people a chance to have a car, have a brand new car as opposed to a car that maybe isn't so great. And so you car companies start thinking about that. I think it's going to be a tremendous market. Please, would you like to say something?
Thank you, Mr. President. It's a great day for us at Stellantis today, because it's the day where we see CAFE regulation reconciled with real customers' demand. That's why at Stellantis we decided to invest to Jeep, Ram, Dodge, and Chrysler $13 billion in the next 4 years, increasing production by 50%, delivering to the market 5 new vehicles, and creating 5,000 additional jobs. That's because we believe in what you, Secretary Taffy, and all your team is doing in this country. We believe in growth, and we are ready to invest even more. So thank you very much. Thank you very much also for this great news of the K cars. which we are very interested into. And we are very looking forward to work with Secretary Duffy, your team, in the future for the next steps. Thank you very much.
We'll get ready for those cars because we've already cleared the way. You can start right away.
We will.
Yeah?
Thank you very much, Mr. President.
Thank you very much. Please.
Mr. President, thank you so much for having me.
Thank you very much.
We support your leadership for this issue that is so important to the auto industry. I'm here representing the hard-working men and women of Orion Assembly in Michigan.
Right.
The facility, our manufacturing facility there, is currently going through a retool so that we can build additional U.S. manufactured pickup trucks and full-size sport utilities for our customers, and we're so excited about that. And thank you for your support. Secretary Duffy, thank you as well.
And this is largely coming in because of the tariff situation. We're taking in trillions of dollars, actually, trillions, and we have so many other advantages, but these great companies are coming back to the United States. They left the United States. If somebody was sitting behind this desk that knew what they were doing, that wouldn't have happened. They would have said, well, you can sell your car here, but we're going to put 100% tariff, and you would have never had the auto industry leave. We lost more than 50% of our auto industry. And now it's all coming back, and I think it's coming back. Ultimately, it's going to be bigger. I believe it's going to be bigger than it was before, actually. But it's an honor to have you here, and please, would you like to say something?
President,
Thank you very much.
Tom Castriota, sir. I'm the chairman of National Automobile Dealers and represent 18,000 dealers in the country, along with 3,000 heavy-duty truck dealers. And what the actions that you've done as the president and your administration is definitely going to save our customers money. And you made your promises that let the consumer buy what they want, sir, and you delivered on that. And the other thing that you delivered was your promise in the big, beautiful bill, the tax deduction on loans that had gone away some years back. And now that makes it affordable for our buyers that can save money through that loan of the tax, anywhere from several hundred to several thousand. So again, sir, on behalf of all the dealers and our customers, we appreciate what you and your administration have done, and of course our legislative support as well, Mr. President.
Thank you. That's very nice, and I'm glad you brought that up. We're allowing people to deduct. So if you go out and buy a car, and this is for middle income, but for lower income, no matter what, they never really had deductions. You know, rich people like deductions, but middle income people were never really afforded deductions, which is very unfair. You borrow money to buy a car, you're allowed to deduct the interest from your income tax. And I think that's going to be one of the most, in terms of your industry, I think it's going to be the biggest thing that we're talking about, maybe even bigger than CAFE standards. People are going to be able to borrow money, deduct it, so it's going to cost them essentially half. And
it'll help, yes, sir.
I think it's going to be a tremendous factory. They've never had a chance to do that before. And that's all done. That's all in the great, big, beautiful bill. So it's really terrific. I'd like to ask a couple of our political leaders to say, because you guys have done an amazing job. This was something that was going to be very tough. We had to fight lunatics to get it done, and they had no answers. You know, you just present them with the facts, and they just say, well, we're just not going to vote for it. They couldn't talk about it, but they didn't want to vote. I see Mike Kelly, my friend back there, has been with me from day one, right?
Yep.
What do you have to say, Mike?
Well, you know what? I think you hit the key. Everybody's talking about the same thing.
In America, look at the way they like each other. You can see there's no hatred between these two guys.
Yeah, as long as I beat his price, we're friends. No, you hit it on the head. The American people have always been able to choose what they want to buy.
Right.
They don't want to be taken out of a market by people who, quite frankly, don't even drive their own car, and saying this is the way you've got to go going into the future. And say, well, you may say that, but you're not in the market. You have no idea. And I know the business we're in. At the end of the day, if you were there with me, I'd say, oh, Mr. President.
Hey, everybody. Ben Handelman from the Wisconsin Live Desk. I learned how to unmute myself. Hey, we're joining you on this Wednesday. This is a live picture from the Oval Office. You're seeing the president kind of rolling back some of the Biden-era regulations on the auto industry. And some of the auto executives say this will save customers money because they don't have to make their cars as fuel efficient anymore to some of those standards. These usually last a long time. We expect the president to take some questions from the media, so we're going to take a quick break. We'll be back. We'll get you back to the Oval Office in a second. My news nerds, it is good to be back inside the Wisconsin Live Desk, where literally there's walls all around me. But yeah, it's been a while since it was pre-turkey, before I was in this room catching you up to speed on everything that is going on in Wisconsin and beyond. If this is your first rodeo, we've got the controls here for all sorts of feeds that are coming in right now into the FOX6 building, into our newsroom, and our cameras from around really the nation and world come into this room, and we're allowed to follow everything that is happening. So we're following obviously what's going on right now in the Oval Office as the president is talking about rolling back some Biden-era regulations on the auto industry, things that would have made cars would have had to be more fuel efficient. It was costing some of the automakers lots of money to try and make these changes, and a lot of people are arguing they didn't even want the cars that the regulations were meant for, and so they're pulling some of those back. And now the pitch here is it's going to save consumers money. We're going to get back in the Oval Office in just a second. We're following some news coming from Fiserv Forum, which I don't have a camera on it right now, but it's making people worried that this could be Giannis's last season in Milwaukee. Trade rumors possible. We'll get you caught up on the latest on Giannis, but there are concerns that Giannis may not be in Milwaukee much longer, or maybe he will. It could go one of two ways. So maybe Giannis will stay here long term, but we'll break down some of the news that's happening there. We're watching what's happening on the stock market. Good day for your 401k. This is why I'm not in business. The stock market reportedly is reacting to a poor jobs report, which you're thinking, well, why is my 401k going up if there's a new report coming in from private employers saying there's actually fewer people being employed right now, actually like 30,000 less people. That means there were layoffs since the last report. Well, according to the reports, a lot of people on Wall Street think with that kind of report, there's going to be a rate cut coming. And so they're banking the stock market growth on a rate cut that hasn't been announced, as this is what happens. The stock market's not necessarily on what is the state of the economy right now. Wall Street investors are trying to kind of plan and predict for the future. And right now, the forecasts are from Wall Street, they do think it's going to be better. So your 401k up almost 1% today, and you've seen it just steadily increase throughout the day. So we'll keep watching this as the stock market's out there as well. Another thing we're watching is the bitter cold. Oh man, is it going to get cold out there? It's not too shabby right now, as temperature is almost above freezing. I saw some melting at my house, like there was things dripping, but even though it's below freezing, the sun direction this time of year, as long as you get a little bit of something, then things are melting. That's not going to happen in the next 24 hours. We are going down, down, down. You see the clearing line out by La Crosse? Oh man, it's headed our way, and when that happens and we get the open skies, we're going to get the Arctic air that is coming in from Minnesota right now. We're talking real-time temperatures overnight could be in the negatives. Below zero weather coming our way, especially inland areas. Holly Baker is following that. All right, I want to get you back, though, to the Oval Office inside the White House because the president, he's been speaking. I think he's taking questions right now. Let's listen in to what's happening as all these leaders and some auto industry execs have gathered.
In order to sell one Ford 150. Because they'd make all their money with the 150.
Yes.
And they were willing to lose money on building 2 or 3 electric cars that they couldn't sell in order to make some money on the 150, because the 150 is a monster. I'll tell you what, that no matter where you go, they love that Ford 150.
Yes.
But isn't it a ridiculous model when you have to build 2 or 3 cars that you know you're not going to be selling or not be selling for much in order to really do something that you should have the right to do, which is make a car that you want to make.
Yes.
And that the market wants, right? So congratulations on the 150.
Thank you. Best-selling vehicle in the United States. Thank you, Mr. President.
Just saying.
Look at that.
Now it's
100% built in the United
It's
States.
now it's only going to do no, but it really is. It's amazing. It's an amazing brand.
There was a lot of stupid things done here.
What would you like to say?
Yeah, I thank you, Mr. President and Secretary Duffy and all of us. You know, one of the last times I was here is when you signed the electric vehicle CRA, Congressional Review Act, that all of us participated in. The beginning of really making common sense, because it was going to impact 17 other states and really a large part of our economy. This is about affordability here. I'm just going to say one thing. Well, maybe I already said one thing, so now I'm going to say two things. When we talk about a car and auto, we sort of talk about just, oh, we need a car. Do you know what a car does for a family? You can take your children to school, you can go to the store, you can visit your mother, you can go to church, you can have a job, you have the flexibility that you need. A car for an American family is about a roadway to prosperity.
Big deal.
It's a big deal. And so by making them more affordable, making them more choice-driven by what families want and need, today is a great day for the American family.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Absolutely. And the American worker.
Say.
Well, thank you, Mr. President and Secretary Duffy, and to my colleagues that are here. In Tennessee, we make great automobiles, and we have a fantastic workforce. And whether you're GM or Ford with their new investment in Tennessee, or Nissan or VW or Toyota with the engine plant, what you see is the components that are necessary to build these cars. And removing these standards and making cars more affordable does mean that more people will purchase them, but it also means we're going to have to make more cars to meet that demand, and for Tennessee, that is a great thing.
So, you know, I'm just sitting here and I'm thinking, like, we have the biggest auto manufacturers in the world. They're talking about investing billions and they're investing it as we speak, but billions and billions of dollars in our country. Thank you very much. And they're here. They're not like, well, maybe we'll do it. They're doing it because of tariffs, and they're doing it because of maybe they like the president, and we're doing things like this for them, which frankly, no matter who you are, this should be done. And we're doing things like deductibility of interest when you borrow money. To buy a car, you're allowed to deduct it from your income tax. That is a massive tax cut for people that probably are going to be trying to buy that car anyway. And I really think that that interest factor is going to be one of the biggest things. When I was proud of that because I thought of it, and it seems so simple. Other people are allowed big interest. If you're a rich person, you're allowed to have big interest deductions for different things you do. But if you're a middle-income person who has to buy a car, you were never entitled to anything. And now you're getting a full interest deduction on the loan. And I think that's going to have one of the biggest impacts. But we're here with companies that are investing tens of billions of dollars in our country as we speak. It's not going to be in 2 years or 3 years. A lot of it's because of the expensing provision in the bill, in the big, beautiful bill. But a miracle is happening in our country. It's a miracle. This is just the auto industry. But we have other industries where it's the same thing. They're building all over our country, and this is a revolution is happening. It's a business revolution. It's a jobs revolution. It's a car revolution. We're bringing back the car industry that was stolen from us because we have people that didn't know what they were doing sitting at this desk. And they put the wrong people in because they weren't advised properly. And this is really an incredible thing that's happening. Go ahead, David.
Well, thank you, Mr. President. And I think in many respects, pretty much everything that could be said has been, except that I think what Kevin talks about in terms of the cascading economic opportunity from this one single event is just the tip of the iceberg. When you think of all the rules and regulations that you have repealed, I think it's more important, frankly, than the tax cuts. However, in the Working Family Tax Cuts Act, remember we made permanent a lot of really good policy from the first Trump era, not the least of which for small businesses is bonus depreciation. The opportunity to depreciate the year that you purchase an F-150 for your small business or a large truck for your farm. I just think we're going to roll into 2026 and we're going to see an escalation of economic opportunity, the likes of which I probably have never seen.
I think nobody's ever seen it, nobody in the world, because There's never been 18 or whatever it ends up being. In 10 months, we have $18 trillion being invested. We never had $1 trillion being invested. And Biden had much less than that. Think of it. He had less than $1 trillion over 4 years. We have $18 trillion in 10 months. And it's actually as of 9 months. So there's never been anything. Eric?
Yeah, Mr. President, thank you. And on behalf of the people of the great state of Missouri, who we actually make things from F-15s to F-47s now, thanks to you. We'll be building the F-47 and then F-150s. And those are real jobs, and we make things in Missouri. This is going to go a long way, I think, for making things more affordable for normal people. Nothing could be more American than driving a car on the highway, and this is going to make that more accessible for more people. So thanks for your leadership.
Your state's doing a great job.
Yeah, well, they love you, too.
It's a great place. Thank you. Please.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'm going to talk to you just a minute from a rural perspective,
Okay.
because these CAFE standards were absolutely unworkable in rural Missouri. We need vehicles that are practical and affordable and can haul for our small businesses, for agriculture, and it just simply didn't work. Those CAFE standards didn't work. So I applaud you, Secretary Duffy, for your hard work and what you're doing on behalf of rural America.
Well, it was keeping a lot of manufacturers out of our country, too. They said, we're not going to, are you crazy? They thought, outside manufacturers thought we were absolutely insane with all of the different things that were just made up nonsense. It was like made up. It was really made up by people that hate our country. I really believe. Does anybody else have anything to say?
I'd say about two quick things, Mr.
Oh,
President.
no, Bernie, I didn't see you.
Two quick things I think are really important. So the person who sat behind this desk before you gave $7,500 in subsidies to multi-millionaires who are leasing electric Rolls Royces, electric Porsches, electric Lamborghinis. We're getting $7,500 from the taxpayer. And these Democrats sit on this floor and say that Republicans are for millionaires and billionaires. We are the opposite of giving $7,500 to multi-billionaires to lease foreign electric vehicles. Number two, because of your policies, at the beginning of the year, 51% of the cars sold in America were made in America, 51%, before you got sworn in. Last month, that number was 57%. We moved it 6 points, which nobody thought would be possible.
Ben Handelman, whoa, I almost tripped on a cord here from the FOX6 studios. Classic Trump Oval Office press conference. It's not even a press conference. This is a signing here of a new policy. As you can see, all the people here, and the president is allowing each and every one of them, it seems, to talk here as they're rolling back some of the Biden-era regulations on your vehicles. The Trump administration says this will lower the cost of vehicles. A lot of people say this. The other side of this is there's concerns of environmental progress that the Democrats thought they had by making these put in place. And then some people said, well, these are for vehicles that Americans don't even want, that you're now forcing the automakers to make, and therefore it's rising the cost for everybody. So those are the two sides of the issue, and the president has gathered a whole bunch of people. There you can see Sean Duffy from Wisconsin, the transportation secretary, front and center for this one. Ted Cruz is there as well. So we'll keep following this one from the Oval Office. We got to talk about, though, this crazy temperatures that are headed our way, and Holly Baker is going to join us live here on the live desk when we return. But we'll keep monitoring what's happening in the Oval Office, and we'll be back in 2 minutes. Ben Haleman from the Wisconsin Live Desk. We are now in the 3 o'clock hour on your Wednesday, which means we are very close now to the weekend. Because once we get past noon on a Wednesday, my mind's going toward the weekend. But the first thing we got to talk about before we get to the weekend is what's going to happen in the weather department. And a lot of times when we talk about what's happening in the weather department, you think we're talking snow or storms. Oh no, we're talking temperatures today. You see the clearing line there in La Crosse? Oh boy, when those clouds move through, that means the front has changed directions and you can't see air, but you can kind of see air. If you look at the radar, because if you look off to Minneapolis and you see the clear skies, oh, that is the Arctic air and it is coming here towards Wisconsin. We're talking temperatures below 0 degrees, and I want to bring in, if I hit the right button here, a weather expert to talk about this. Holly Baker is here on the Wisconsin Live Desk. Holly, thanks for joining us. I am cold just thinking about the air that is heading in our direction because it's not that cold out there right now, but oh boy, is it about to be.
Oh boy, it's cold to me right now, but I'm going to freeze, I tell you that, by the time those temperatures drop later tonight. You may even do the same, Ben. This is one of those, the temperatures that are coming in, that's the type of weather that you want to bundle up on the couch with your Snuggie or a nice thick blanket with a bowl of soup.
Yes.
That's kind of what the vibes are giving, right?
Well, these are the nights in my house. I have some, like all the windows that open in my house are not very great windows. Like the seal's not great. And I only notice it when it gets to be like extremely cold. And I guarantee you I wake up tomorrow and they're all going to be iced over.
Yeah.
And that's not good because that means I got condensation on my window and I probably need to start saving money, but windows are expensive. So I am just going to deal with my terrible windows and hope that I can wrap up in my blanket tonight. I mean, okay, talk us through right now because, so it's near 30 right now, 28 degrees, which I know is below normal. We shouldn't be this cold right now. But over the next few hours, we're just going to progressively start dipping here, right?
Yes. Temperatures are going to be plummeting as we head throughout really the rest of tonight. Now, we got up to 31 degrees. That's the warmest I've saw temperatures to reach, 31 degrees. But they've already fallen back to 28. That's where we were this morning. Really not going to have too many changes besides temperatures dropping even more as we head throughout the night. And then on top of that, we have the wind chill too. So the wind chill is playing a big role because it's making it feel 100% cooler than what it actually is. 19 degrees is what it feels like. Dew point's right at 20. And then wind is currently from the northwest at about 10 miles per hour. So we've already had the cold front to pretty much pass through the area. And you pretty much know that too because the wind direction has now changed. All day, the wind direction has been from the southwest as well as the west. Now, officially, we have northwesterly winds, and that is bringing in all of that cooler air from the north, really from Canada. Here's a look at the temperature and wind chill though. So it's not just our area dealing with those temperatures and wind chills there. You see that Waukesha is also cooler, 16 degrees to be exact. 27 is what it feels like, but or 27 is the temperature, 16 is what it feels like. Same for Sheboygan, 16 is what it feels like. So we're feeling like the teens and lower 20s, and as temperatures drop, you will notice too, Ben, that pretty much those wind chill levels are going to get down. This is the temperature trend. You see this. We get down to 9 degrees. That is just at least overnight. That's not even the rest of overnight. We're going to get down to sub-zero. So you can expect lows across the state to be in the negatives. Even us too. You see here, -1 for Milwaukee for a low tonight.
That's air temperature. That's not wind chill.
That's not the wind chill. That's regular temperature for tonight.
Oh,
even as you look north, you do see some other areas. I see some -10s out there. We even see -8, -9, -7. But what's just shocking to me is Marquette. They're not on the negative side.
Yeah.
It's because they're a little closer to the water, and I don't think that they're going to have that polar influence that we're having currently really in our area, because we're getting the winds from the northwest. I don't think that that's going to affect them because they have that land there. I think that's going to kind of help, and they're closer to the water too. So
yeah, usually when you're talking close to the water in Lake Superior, it's not a warm feeling.
Right.
But let's get a drink with an umbrella in it, and I'll go to Marquette, Michigan, as it's going to be 5 degrees tonight compared to our -1.
I know.
I'm seeing Chicago's a little warmer, too. That's a little closer of a drive. They won't be as cold, is it not? I mean, is the deep cold kind of just stopping here at the Wisconsin border, it seems?
I think, no, not necessarily stop.
Okay.
I think it will continue to pretty much plunge down south.
Good. I want them to freeze, too.
I don't think that they're going to feel it as bad as we are because we are closer, so we're going to get all of it. You know how air travels, I do think it's going to lose some of the momentum. Some of the heat is going to get lost at some point. So we're all going to get cold, though. Even areas down south are cold in the 40s, and that's kind of cold for a southerner.
Yeah, that is cold down there.
Messaging me like, oh, it's cold, it's cold. But yeah,
it's all relative, isn't it? I want you to look at this because this is a live picture of City Hall, but look on the top of City Hall, which I know Ted Perry normally does this.
The flag.
But that is the flag, and that is pointed straight east right now. It is pointed towards Lake Michigan because our shot right here up Water Street, we are looking straight to the north. Actually, me and Holly are way in the back there waving up here in Brown Deer because that's where this camera is pointed up towards Brown Deer. But that wind direction, though, Holly, it's starting to shift, and that flag's going to start shifting in a southerly direction, right? Because the wind's going to be coming from the north. Is that accurate?
Yes, you are correct. So the wind coming from the north, that's going to make the flag pretty much have its tail where it wiggles. It's going to be southward.
Okay, so yeah, we're starting to see that shift because you can see the flag is starting to point towards this camera, and that'll be a real good indicator of when this front moves through, right?
Yes, the front has pretty much moved through the area.
Okay.
Now we just have to worry about the cooler temperature settling in. So that's going to be happening as we go throughout the rest of at least this afternoon and even the evening. You'll start to notice each time you step outdoors, it's going to get cooler and cooler and cooler. And I think this is going to be overall a pretty quick drop. Are you trying to zoom in on us?
I have no control of this camera. I'm like, who's moving the camera?
Yeah, I don't
think
know who is either. They're trying to see Pfizer Forum, looks like.
Or I thought at first they were trying to see us. Like, oh, they're going to zoom in on us. But no, I think they're zooming in because there's this Bucks news that I've been. While I've got you here, Holly, how do you feel about Giannis? Are you a big Giannis Antetokounmpo fan?
I feel like this is a trick question.
You can be indifferent. You don't have.
I feel like he's not my favorite player because I've gravitated towards other players.
Okay.
But I've heard great things about him, so I don't
he
have
brought us a
anything
championship.
bad to say about him.
Well, Holly, while you're here on the Wisconsin Live Desk, I just want to bring you this breaking news from Shams Charania, I think is how you say his name.
Is he leaving?
Giannis Antetokounmpo and his agent, Alex Saratis, I don't know how to pronounce his agent's name, have started conversations with the Milwaukee Bucks about the two-time NBA MVP's future and discussing whether his best fit is staying or elsewhere. Sources tell ESPN.
This is juicy gossip.
A resolution expected in the coming weeks. I think this news is, this is kind of like a no news if you're actually like, what came out of this? Nothing. He's either staying or going. But the fact that they're talking about his future and possibly going elsewhere, to me tells me the Bucks are thinking about a trade if they can get a ton of value in that. And that would be mind-blowing, right?
Yeah, I mean...
I know we're talking sports with a weather expert,
no, but
so we don't need you to go in depth.
I have some stuff I could say. I think that he wants to win championships, and I don't think that they have won, and he probably wants to keep winning, so I would feel that that's the reason. But other than that, I do think that he still has a special place for Milwaukee. I think he still loves it here. It's just, when you evaluate your career, it's like...
Don't we all want to win championships?
Yeah, I want to win.
You think it's cold today, Holly? The day that Giannis leaves us and goes to like the Lakers or the Knicks, oh, that is going to be a cold, cold winter here in Milwaukee as because our only shot, I think, this year of winning a championship is with Giannis, but the team has been pretty miserable because they don't really have the pieces. This is just me talking as a sports fan. Ironically, can I just pull up an email that just came in my FOX6 News email?
Yeah.
It comes from someone from the Bucks, and I got so excited because I saw this news was breaking. And I won't say what her name is. She says she's reaching out from the Milwaukee Bucks to see if I might be interested in premium space experiences. Someone is trying to sell me on one of those premium lounges. Do you know what those things cost? I don't even know, Holly, because if you know, then it's so expensive.
Thousands of dollars.
Wait, it could be. At least hundreds to go see the Bucks. But maybe we should all go buy tickets soon if we want to see Giannis in Milwaukee, because that might not be the future. But we brought you on here to talk about the chill, and I'm warmer now that you're here on the Wisconsin Live Desk.
Oh, thank you. You know what, though? I think with you bringing the news with sports, that goes perfect with the weather. That's cold news that nobody wants to hear.
Nobody wants to hear it.
Yeah.
But, you know, I like to keep things unpredictable when I'm here on the Wisconsin Live Desk. So you bring Holly on, you think she's just going to talk about the cold temperatures. Oh, no, I'm going to bring up some breaking Bucks news and get Holly's reaction to that. So, Holly, we'll see you on FOX6 News and our newscast tonight. And you've been working on digital stuff, too. But the cold is the story of the day. So thanks for coming on here. Appreciate it.
All right, no problem. See you soon.
See you soon. All right, stay here on the Wisconsin Live Desk because I believe I've got some new feeds that have just popped up. They're actually asking questions of President Trump. So we'll get back to that when we come back here on the Wisconsin Live Desk.
Wisconsin Live Desk.
Ben Haleman from the Wisconsin Live Desk. The president is taking questions right now in the Oval Office. There he is. Things always get spicy when he takes questions from the media, so let's listen in right now.
Some of the high-level people operated themselves. They would just go in and sign his name with an auto pen onto very important documents, not only pardons, but policy, maybe cafe standards, okay, as an example. Who signed cafe? If you ask Biden what's a cafe standard, he would have absolutely no idea. He'd say, where is the cafe located? The guy didn't know anything. Look, that just shows you what a rigged election can be, but you understand what I'm saying. Thank you.
You've had conversations
with Jensen.
Right, so.
Smart man.
In your conversations with him, have you kind of given a sense of where you are with export controls and the types of chips that NVIDIA can give to China?
Sure, he knows very well. He's done an amazing job. NVIDIA, very good. Yeah.
Mr. President, when do you expect for phase 2 of the Gaza peace plan to be implemented? And
Well, it's going along well. You know, they had a problem today, I understand, with a bomb that went off and hurt some people pretty badly, probably killed some people. They're telling me it just happened. But it's going on. We have peace in the Middle East. People don't realize it. We have tremendous support. 59 countries. There's tremendous support. But we'll Phase 2 is moving along, yeah. It's going to happen pretty soon.
Mr. President, did you speak with House Republican leadership about your decision to pardon Congressman Henry Cuellar? And are you concerned that you made a vulnerable Democrat perhaps less vulnerable with that decision?
It didn't matter. He's a respected person. He was treated very badly because he said that people should not be allowed to pour into our country. And he was right. He didn't like open borders. He was on the border. You know, he represents a very respected man. He represents the people on the border, and he saw what was happening. And as soon as he made that statement, I then said, I did a truth, wonderful truth, we love truth. But what happened is he got indicted for speaking the truth. And his wife got indicted, Imelda. And that's sort of a first. Usually they leave the wives alone, right? Don't they, Congressman? Yeah. Typically they indict somebody, put him in jail for the rest of his life, but the wife can just sit home and cry, or she'll find a new man. You know? A lot of times they find a new man that makes them much happier. In fact, a lot of times they like that man better than the one that's in jail.
Mr. President, thank you. The mayor of Minneapolis, Jacob Frey, is saying that he's actually proud to have the largest Somali community in the country, and his police chief.
Well, then he's a fool.
Well, his police chief is also saying
I wouldn't be proud to have the largest Somalian. Look at their nation. Look how bad their nation is. It's not even a nation. It's just people walking around killing each other. Look, these Somalians have taken billions of dollars out of our country. They've taken billions and billions of dollars. They have a representative, Ilhan Omar, who they say married her brother. It's a fraud. She tries to deny it now, but you can't really deny it because, you know, it just happened. She shouldn't be allowed to be a congresswoman, and I'm sure people are looking at that. And she should be thrown the hell out of our country. And most of those people, they have destroyed Minnesota, okay? Minnesota, you have an incompetent governor. You have a crooked governor. He's crooked as hell, but he's incompetent. Waltz he should be ashamed. That beautiful land, that beautiful state, it's a hellhole right now. And the Somalians should be out of here. They've destroyed our country. And all they do is complain, complain, complain. You have her. She's always talking about the Constitution provides me with, go back to your own country and figure out your Constitution. All she does is complain about this country. Without this country, she would not be in very good shape. She probably wouldn't be alive right now. So Somalia is considered by many to be the worst country on earth. I don't know. I haven't been there. I won't be there anytime soon, I hope. But what Somalia, what the Somalian people have done to Minnesota is not even believable. It's not even believable. And a lot of it starts with the governor. A lot of it starts with Barack Hussein Obama, because that's when people started coming in. And you have to have people come in that are going to love our country, cherish our country. They want to kiss our country goodnight. They talk about our country. We want them to pray for our country. This is not the people living in Minnesota. And she's a disaster. She should not be, and her friends shouldn't be allowed. Frankly, they shouldn't even be allowed to be congresspeople, okay? They shouldn't even be allowed to be congresspeople because they don't represent the interests of our country. Anybody else?
Mr. President. So the president's throwing jabs as he's taking questions from reporters. Just getting word that we're following a jet crash out in California, but I've lost the helicopter feed. The reports is an F-16 may have crashed. So that's the latest that I'm following right now here on the live desk, as we're also following what's happening in the Oval Office. We just have a few minutes left, but I got to get a 2-minute break, so stay with us. There's a lot going on right now.
Live Desk.
Ben Hillman from the Wisconsin Live Desk. We're following several different stories right now. Still don't have that feed after there are reports that there may be an F-16 that crashed out in California. News crews on the way, but it does appear to be in a remote section, and they've lost the feed on my camera right now. Something we're following locally is this Giannis news, as it's been breaking, coming from Shams, who's an NBA insider, saying Giannis Antetokounmpo and his agent have started conversations with the Milwaukee Bucks about the two-time NBA MVP's future and discussing whether his best fit is staying or elsewhere. Now the question would be, why in the middle of the season would he begin conversations with his future? Because the Bucks have him under contract, so really it's the Bucks who control, his destiny in a bit, but you want Giannis to stay here. If he wants to stay here, if he doesn't want to stay here, you want to trade him and get as much as you can. Always a cool shot. This press conference just ended in the Oval Office, taking a live look as they are walking out, and this feed's about to go, but this is a kind of a cool insider tour of the White House, and there goes the feed, because that's what they do, as some of the press is going back into, that area there. So, yeah, we're following different breaking news stories. We're seeing what's happening, obviously, with Giannis in the Bucks. I also just want to bring up, I've got new information in my inbox. There's going to be a press conference. That's the right feed right there. It's coming from the ACLU. They say in the next half an hour, this is kind of a late-breaking press conference, they will hold a newser with Voces de la Frontera after news the Wisconsin Supreme Court has agreed to hear a case that is challenging the sheriff's practice of honoring ICE detainers in county jails. Jason Calvi was on the Wisconsin Live Desk. He was talking about this. So currently there are some sheriffs around the state who, I'm not sure if partnering is the correct word, but definitely in conjunction with federal officials, if there are people that have it's called a detainer, a hold on them for immigration enforcement, some county jails have stepped forward, some county sheriffs, and said, we will hold these people in the county jail. Well, Voces de la Frontera, which is an advocacy group, they have filed a lawsuit challenging that practice, basically saying if you're holding someone, you have them under arrest, and that is not legal in the state of Wisconsin to do that and hold these people in county jails, because that is not the role of the county sheriff's offices. So they're challenging that, and then today we've just learned the Wisconsin Supreme Court will be hearing the challenge. So just about 30 minutes here on your Wisconsin Live Desk. Well, we won't be on the Wisconsin Live Desk now, but you have the Fox Local app. So here on the Fox Local app, hopefully we can bring you that press conference live as it happens. That's one story we're watching. Other big story is the weather. There's the 6-day. Can you pick out, just look at the lows. Which is the coldest of all of those days? Yeah, it's going to be tomorrow morning, as we got really cold air that is moving into the area right now. And so we continue, the weather experts, they're watching this bitterly cold air, coldest of the year, well, our winter season, maybe not of the year because we're at the end of the year, but certainly of this winter. We're not even in winter season, it's fall. I get so confused here in Wisconsin because officially it's fall, but it's snowed and it's in the teen wind chills today and it's going to be 0, but yeah, it could be negative temperatures. So anyway, this is the joy of the Fox Local app. You can click on all these stories. We're following them right now. Our crews are all over this. We got crews talking about Giannis. We're talking Green Bay Packers, the Bears. They're playing them coming up. So all your sports coverage, that's becoming a big deal as we get later into the week. Some incredible new body dash camera has just dropped from the Racine County Sheriff. Fatal house fire in Raymond, but one deputy went into a burning home, pulled out a 4-year-old girl. We've got the video. That'll be on your Fox Local app just in a few minutes here. So stick around, and we'll see you tomorrow for the Wisconsin Live Desk. Same time, same place. Don't go anywhere, though, because our coverage continues.